Do you need me at all?
Breathe your praise on me, Lord, till my heart is full. You are everything I know. Oh, breathe your praise on me, Spirit, like a fire, breathe your praise on me, Lord, till my heart is full. You are everything I need. When darkness falls and fear surrounds my heart, your love breaks through. It's a brand new start. Every chain is broken, every shadow falls. Your light shines bright, setting me at ease. I hear your voice, gentle and true, guiding me along in all I. You are the light of the lifting me higher, making me whole. Through every trial, I will stand tall. Jesus, your love conquers all. When the storms rage on and hope feels far away, your spirit whispers peace, turning night to day. The choir of heaven joins my song. Together in your grace, alone. Lifting me higher, making me more. Through every trial, I will stand tall. Jesus, your love conquers all. Hallelujah. Your mercy reigns. Hallelujah. You heal my pain. You heal my pain. Hallelujah. Your power remains. Your power remains. Forever my Savior. Forever my King. You are the light of my soul. Lifting me higher, making me whole. Through every trial, I will stand tall. Jesus, your love conquers all. Lifting me higher, through every trial. Hello, everybody. And
hello.
Okay. All right. Just getting caught up. Oh, good evening, everyone, and welcome. Okay. First of all, let me say it's pretty uplifting that there's so many of you actually online and joining in with us tonight. And it's good to see that there are several of you who cares about this community and what's going on in our organization. I have a few things that I wrote down so I don't forget. But long story short, we are here tonight so that we can add a few more people to our board. But before we get to that, I just want to again thank you all for being here in this meeting. It's not mandatory, of course, and we just wanted to make it official. Everything that we do, if you have not been paying attention, everything that we're doing is to be transparent with every single thing that we do. 1 second. Okay. So with everything that we do, we want to be transparent. And as I look, especially on here now, as there's maybe 25, 26 individuals, but you all have actually taken made a choice to stand up for what it is that's right, as well as to be a part of a cleanup crew in so many words. We have individuals that are alerting us to the fact that, especially by email, that they've chosen not just to stand for progress, but fairness, which many people are saying is long overdue. I've heard many people talk about this is something that they've prayed for, that their family members have prayed for, that they've been looking forward to for the longest. And we're just grateful to be here to be a part of this. Today marks an important milestone as we officially add, again, a few more seats to our board of directors. These new positions, they open doors for fresh perspectives, and it's new leadership energy and wider representation. The board so far has been extremely excited, and there's been members throughout the organization that's also reaching out because they're too extremely excited for what it is that they see is taking place. The board symbolizes our commitment that we're going to grow stronger, wiser, and we're going to be better equipped for the responsibilities that lie ahead. Before we continue, we have to address, however, a serious matter that's recently come to my attention. There's been reports that there's 1 or 2 members that have been calling or texting some of our supporters, leaving snide or disrespectful comments. I want to be absolutely clear. You all don't know who we have working with us and who's
behind the scenes, so to speak. That said, we will not tolerate any type of behavior whatsoever that is questionable or looks like, seems like, feels like, or sound like harassment at all. If there's anybody that is suffering from, dealing with, or experiencing any type of harassment, any type, any form whatsoever, I've been told to go ahead and inform you all that it will not be tolerated. We'll take down those names, take down any contact information that you have from them, and they'll be submitted along with the claims that we have. This is almost expected whenever you have a situation like this. Everybody don't know how to take it. Sometimes you're dealing with children and not adults. Sometimes it's teenagers doing things like this. And if it is teenagers, they'll be tracked, and then we will get in touch with their guardians. And if it continues, then the guardians, you will be held accountable. The same as I talked about when it comes to the maids as well as the young men in the organization. Whenever we're dealing with now, what the members did not know is, quite frankly, child labor. Some of the positions that we have for our young people in the organization, standing for hours at a time and working, doing certain things that we feel it's never been a problem. However, this is bigger than us because these issues are now going outside the organization, especially since for more than 30 months now, for more than 2.5 years, we've had no leadway in trying to even voice our concerns. So with that in mind, we're now making progress to bringing these things to a halt by seeking the individual authorities outside. With that in mind, once again, no harassment whatsoever will be tolerated. Unlike what we have seen coming from Mr. Cunningham, making statements to incite anger, making statements to cause division amongst our members, we will not tolerate that on this side. Every single member will be protected. Every single member will be heard, and every single voice will be accepted when it comes to your concerns, your suggestions, your ideas, or whatever the case may be. There's nobody that will be silent on this end of the spectrum as we all go forward. So again, if there's anybody that knows of anyone calling your phones, sending emails, text messages, or even letters, let us know. Get that information so that we can deal with it on our end. Put the word out. If there's any youth that's involved in this type of behavior, they will be penalized with the fullest extent of the law. We're not playing none of those games here. As we stand firmly behind our supporters, legal remedies will be pursued against anybody who attempts to intimidate or mock. And once again, harassment comes in many shapes and forms. We will be penalizing those individuals with the fullest extent of the law. We're here to create progress. We're not here to be dragged down by negativity or any form of disruptive behavior whatsoever, whether it's online, whether it's by phone, or whether it's in person. As we move forward today, it's important to reflect on why it is that we're here. The former administration was given more than, once again, 2.5 years. That is going to be, it's unheard of for any organization to have had that much time and attempt after attempt after attempt, and to have ignored every single attempt and reject every single opportunity to not only hear concerns, but to rectify those concerns. Is simply unheard of. And if you all don't understand that the law does not play when it comes to regulatory concerns or issues, then unfortunately, you'll have to watch on the sideline and see how this all plays out. we have literally over 50 years worth of concerns, and they simply can't be brushed aside. Despite the time that's given, the necessary changes are here, and those changes will be made. The changes were not made over a course of decades. We're looking to already begin to make progress in bringing about change, even though the board of directors is not yet in any position of authority whatsoever. We are on standby until the outside sources sustain our course of action with the declaration where we have relieved the former bishop, the General Assembly Secretary and his staff, the former bishop's staff, the general counsel, and the ministers of the organization. Since there has been collusion, it's evidence of collusion. There's no way, shape, or form that anybody can dispute that they have had ample time and ample opportunity to deal with these matters in order to bring these concerns not only forward, but to have them rectified and resolved. This is why we've stepped forward with the purpose of setting up a board. We're determined to move on and to finally bring lasting solutions to long-standing problems. Our actions today are rooted in responsibility, and we're looking forward to growth. We're looking forward to doing those things that are necessary in order to do better than what has been done in the past. Even if we don't get it right, we can begin to do better. So far, the members of the entire organization has unfortunately been in a situation to where nothing whatsoever was being done for anyone, and we're bound to change that. As we look forward into the future, we're excited to share that a draft of the new Constitution, I have mentioned this before in a previous video, along with the board's commitment agreement, will be posted soon. And by soon, I mean in the very next video, I'm going to be going over the draft of the new Constitution. It's not a new Constitution that's going to replace the old one until you all see it, until you all talk about it and discuss it, until the board actually reviews it and do the same thing, deliberate on it, and then vote on it. It's nothing more than a proposal. But when you see the new Constitution, the draft, in comparison to the old unlawful constitutions, then I'm sure every single member of the House of Prayer will be delighted and excited to get ready to move forward. That said, these documents serve as the foundation for a stronger, more transparent structure, internal structure that will guide every single thing we do. No more will the organization be run by individuals making things up on the spot. Okay, we're going to be doing every single thing by the book, by black and white, the letter of the law. And that way, everybody will see up front what it is that we're supposed to do, what it is that we have the authority to do, what it is that we're not supposed to do, and what it is that we don't have authority to do. So since this is a new venture for all of us, what knowledge we don't already have on the board of directors, we will seek out that knowledge by reaching out to outside sources and bringing in a consulting agency so that they can look at the laws of the land, so that they can look at the regulating agencies to make sure that our Constitution, we will have a policies and procedures manual similar to an employee handbook, but it will be a manual for the members of the House of Prayer to review throughout the entire organization to see what it is that those in positions of authority over you, again, are bound to. Zero tolerance for violations. Every single person will be held accountable to the rule of law, not only the rules of law concerning the organization, but especially the rule of law concerning outside the organization. As a 501c3 with a tax exemption, we have a slew of regulations that we must be in compliance with. And when you all see, when all this is over, the records and documents will be released for everybody to see and look at, to show you exactly what was not done and the things that have been done to deceive the members of the organization. So when you see this, it's going to upset you. I haven't released a whole lot of things because I'm not trying to anger people. I'm only informing you all so that you will know why we're taking this course of action. We will also be releasing a detailed list of programs that we plan to begin implementing once this stage of our work is finished. These programs are designed to bring meaningful change, support our members, and reflect the values that it is that we will be standing for and on. We're looking at reinstating as well as reinstituting the feeling of integrity and honesty throughout the entire organization at every single level, from the top all the way down to the bottom. We encourage everyone to read through the materials that we give to you carefully, share any feedback, and be part of the shaping of the organization in the direction that we take in the next few days, the next few weeks, the next few months ahead. I do have a time frame in mind. The board of directors have, again, been eager to get started. What we're doing is preparing to have the first board meeting by having a list of things that we're going to be discussing so that we can have a visualization of what it is that the organization should look like by the time we get done. So with that in mind, everybody should see clearly the goals and the objectives that we're going to be working towards. This is new. We've never had this in our organization. And again, everything will be clearly defined so that everybody will be aware of the initiatives, the goals that's being set, and the progress that we're making towards bringing those visualizations to pass. And what we're talking about is helping people in need. After all, we are a nonprofit, and we have been set up under an application to assist the public with needs that has not been met by other institutions. We've seen an example of that just a few weeks ago when we had a partial government shutdown. People all around the entire country were looking for food as well as other necessary items just to get by on a day-to-day basis, while we provided a list of other institutions and organizations, small as well as large. There was nothing that our organization had set up or done. We're going to be changing that as we go forward. Communication will continue to play a major role in our success. So we will be communicating with you all, and the hope is that you will be communicating with us. This is not going to be put a sign up on the wall you can write to anybody and yet you don't hear from them at all. This is going to be open communication where we communicate back and forth, and results will be getting done. If you have questions or need clarity, we urge you to email us directly through the contact section on our website. And I will repeat and reiterate that over and over and again. We stand for right 2024 at gmail.com. That's how anybody can reach us, and we will respond accordingly. If you don't hear from us immediately, it will be in the next few days. This ensures that your concerns will reach us immediately and that you receive correct and direct answers. Beyond asking questions, there are many ways that you can support what it is that we're doing. Attending meetings and participating in the initiatives that we're going to be setting forth, spreading the information that you come across in the videos as well as in these open meetings, and simply staying engaged. We also will be having the fellowship sessions that we've been having on Sunday evenings. They've been going over my limitation, right around an hour and a half to 2 hours, We've been going up to 3 and 4 hours. But again, as long as you all have questions and they keep coming, then we made ourselves available so that we can answer those questions for you. Every voice matters. Every effort counts. Together, we'll be making progress, not just one individual, but all of us collectively. Not only is this possible, but this is absolutely powerful and is necessary. As we continue into this next phase, we want to encourage every member to stay united. We're entering a time that requires teamwork. It requires understanding. And yes, it still requires a degree and a level of patience. Change does not happen overnight. And everyone in this room, everyone on this live feed, everybody by text messages and email and phone calls, every single one of you play an important role in holding this program together. Even when things feel slow or complicated, we must remain steady and continue pushing forward. Unity is our strength, not division, unity. And it's what will carry us through this challenging, but albeit necessary transition. And yes, we will be transitioning from the former leadership into immediately right after we've been given the baton, so to speak. We'll be taking control of the organization so that we can start setting up these programs and getting the members the help and the assistance that they need right off the bat. It may be in the next few weeks, it may be in the next few months, but this is what it is that we're anticipating. It's also important to recognize that more and more members are now stepping up to voice their support for what it is that we're doing. Many people, many members, many voices who once stayed quiet are now speaking out. They're now speaking up. They're now questioning pastors. They're now questioning one another. They're now raising conversation about what it is that they've been seeing online. They're offering encouragement to one another. They're sharing their stories with one another. And they're showing that they believe in this cause that we have maintained. Even though it may not always look like it on the surface, a great deal of progress is happening behind the scenes. Meetings, planning, drafting, and discussions are taking place daily. We're laying down the groundwork that will lead to visible change, not change behind closed doors, not secret change, not putting into effect plans and programs that you don't know nothing about. Everything that we do is going to be put out in the front, out in the open. We will still be utilizing these platforms as we make announcements, and we will be alerting you all to every single thing that we're doing as we do it. We're laying down the groundwork again, and it's going to be transparent, everything that we do. Change that everyone will soon be able to see as well as feel. In the past several weeks, we've also had a growing number of members reaching out, asking us how they can help, how they can assist, and where they can step in to support the work that we're doing. This increase in enthusiasm, as I got to say, has been incredible. And it shows just how strongly our community believes in this mission. Members of the organization, including non-members, believe it or not, of the organization, has been offering assistance and help. How can they help out with this movement? Even though our board of directors is probably going to be filled tonight, we want everybody to know that there will be plenty of opportunities for involvement. In fact, we will soon begin forming several committees that will work alongside our board hand in hand once we enter the next phase. Again, immediately whenever the authorities give us the green light to take the initiative and to utilize whatever resources the organization has to set up these programs, immediately, as soon as they're set up, then the members can go ahead and start signing up to tap into those resources. We will need individuals all over the country in order to help us set up these programs. So we will be doing it pretty much from headquarters, and a lot of it will be done online virtually. We have individuals that's working on different facets of these programs as we speak, putting things in order on paper, not doing anything to set anything up. But once they have the green light, then they can go ahead and start making phone calls and telling people to go ahead and get ready for orders to be sent out so that they can get in line and they can have the necessary paperwork done to go ahead and begin implementing those resources. And I've talked about what some of those resources are beforehand. We will be talking about it again in the next video when we provide a list of the services that we're looking to have set up. These committees will be made up of approximately 20 to 30 additional members who will each take on important roles, working again hand in hand with board members to plan, to organize, and to set up the various programs the organization intends to launch. And by the organization, again, I'm not talking about former leadership. That's not the organization. The organization is the people. The people make up the board, and then the board will also be setting up policies and procedures in order to discuss the implementation of setting up the delegates as we go forward to present how we will be also setting up the General Assembly. This teamwork will create a powerful, powerful support system that will also help guide our programs from early planning all the way to successful completion. The very first individuals that we're looking to have in line to utilize these programs, of course, are members of the organization, past as well as present. And once the members have received the assistance that they need, then those same programs will be opened up for also individuals from the public who are also looking for those types of assistance. Along with these main committees, we will also be in position, and there will be a need also for additional members to become a part of subcommittees that will operate on a more local level. So when we've set up the programs, of course, locally in the various communities where the various sanctuaries are currently sitting, well, we will need individuals there to help carry out whatever initiatives we've set up for the members and the non-members to receive this assistance. Primarily, it'll just be paperwork or just filling out a form online. But albeit how simple it is, no matter how simple it is, we're still going to need individuals to assist us in carrying out these programs so that the members can go ahead and receive the assistance that they're going to be looking for in whatever capacity that assistance is in. By that, I mean whether it's legal help, whether it's therapy, whether it's behavioral specialists, whether it's literacy, financial literacy, whether it's education, whether it's job assistance programs, or whether it's simply financial assistance. All of these programs, once they're set up, we're going to need additional help to allow us to reach those individuals that need it and to set it up so that they can tap into these resources. These subcommittees will focus on carrying out specific tasks within the different communities, again, helping us to set up programs, reach members directly, and make sure that the benefits and assistance we're creating actually reaches the people that it's meant for. That way, the individuals that need it will be in place to receive it. What do I mean by that? Right now, we've had members of our organization going around to different institutions for assistance. I see that as a problem. We have small neighborhood communities with a little teeny tiny facility. And that facility opened up their doors. To give you an example, I received personal information about one place. I don't want to say the city, one place in Maryland. They had set up a fundraiser and they utilized the funds that they had on hand to create baskets and assistance needs. They gave out gas cards, they gave out prepaid visas, and they gave out food. But they had enough in order to set it up for, I think it was somewhere around 1,200 households. For us to find out about those programs and for us to go out there to take advantage of those programs, I have a problem with that. Yes, I'm in agreement for you to go and get the help that you need because our organization has done nothing for no one. It was a slap in the faces of all the members for a brand new Maybach to be sitting out in the front while the organization is told to tighten up your belt and not to spend money unnecessarily. When nothing at all was done for anyone at the greatest need, 42 million families and households are up in arms because they're worried about what's going on with the SNAP benefits that veterans depend on, senior citizens depend on, households depend on, because now you're dealing with single parent households. Even though you might have two parent households, the country went through an issue in Corona and a lot of layoffs took place. Individuals have still not returned back to working in their own field of expertise. And so they're still working 2 part-time jobs. Some might be working a full-time job, but they don't have the benefits that they had at the other job that downsized due to the pandemic. So here we are several years later, yet the country is still suffering from the layoffs at that time. So that means people took a huge hit in their income. And everybody's credit is shot right now. Everybody's credit. Some people going through things, trying to repair, trying to dismiss, trying to erase things off of their credit file, but everybody's going through it. And during these times, our organization, 100 times, 200 times, 1,000 times larger than some of these other organizations who's doing things to help people in the community. Ours did nothing. And our members got to go out there for help. And I mentioned, and I even announced that some of our members, some of the top paying members of the organization are out there in the food lines. All of this has to stop. So with that in mind, we're doing everything that we can to get in gear and to set up programs that will be ready whenever we're given the green light to just put things into place. And as soon as we're given that green light, what you can look forward to is hearing announcements from the board that this program is set up and ready to go. This program is set up and ready to go. This program is set up and ready to go. It should be hitting back to back. And the online mandatory coursework, maybe 5 hours, we don't know. Again, we're going to vote on this as well, but to make sure that our members is getting the training that they need to bring everybody up to speed with some of the technology that's being used today for free. And the more coursework that gets done, then that opens up avenues to tap into more resources. But we want to put you in a position to where receiving the resources is one thing, but knowing what to do with the resources, that's an entirely different ballgame. So everything that we're doing is to make it successful for everybody so that while we're doing what we're doing, everyone will be able to benefit short term, but more importantly, long term. With that said, these groups will play a huge role in organizing events, spreading information, and gathering feedback, and helping members complete the steps necessary to receive the assistance that it is that every one of us might be needing at that time. By involving more people in these hands-on roles, we can build a strong and a very well-connected network that supports our mission from the inside out, ensuring that this work touches every corner of our community with energy, fairness, and real impact. Before I go further, let me give you an example of one of the other benefits. I don't want to mislead anybody into thinking that we're just setting up assistance programs. As large as this organization is, I've always had an issue, just as an example, with our coalition committee. For our members to travel around the country year in, year out, it has always been a question in my mind. Why is it that we're not getting discounts from the hotels? Why is it that we're not getting discounts from airfare and travel? Why are we not getting discounts from the train companies? Why are we not getting discounts from car rental agencies? Why are we not getting discounts from busing companies? We should be getting at least a 15 up to maybe 20 or more % discount just because of the numbers that we have that use these services year round. I haven't said this before, I don't think, but when I was pastoring in San Antonio, I had negotiated terms with 2 brand new hotels. Well, one was almost brand new, 3 years old, and another that was 10 years old. That when you just call and mention the fact that you're a member of the House of Prayer, right off the bat, it was in their system that you're getting a 30% discount off of that daily, that standard room rate. If you were VIP, meaning a dignitary that travels all the time, then they were going to give you up to 40%. I think I still have the paperwork. And we actually put individuals up in those hotels that came to San Antonio who experienced the concierge and the hospitality that we had negotiated for the hotel to carry out on their behalf, because the hotel staff was told by management that anybody from the United House of Prayer for All People, they would receive VIP service. They would be bused anywhere they needed to go in the city, free of charge. All they had to do was call and schedule with the front desk. Now, mind you, if I could do that as a pastor, with just telling them what we have available and the opportunity for individuals to come to San Antonio, why have we not been able to set that up as an organization over all of these years with all of the members that travel? Why have we not been able to set that up with the car rental agencies? I also was working on setting up discounts there. My point is this: just like AAA, we should have public relations officers as well as liaisons calling businesses to find out how much of a discount our members can get, just like any other corporation does, because we have the numbers of individuals that may possibly utilize their services. Why we've never had that, it disturbed me when I found out that with the coalition, the reason why our members are paying regular room rate for all these years is because whenever you go through the coalition, every single dollar that's spent by all of our members goes towards award points on the account that is held by the Bishop of the House of Prayer. When I heard that, I was deeply disturbed, because it showed just one more issue, how the members were being taken advantage of. And every dollar, instead of the members being helped by saving them money, since everywhere they go, they're putting out money. But no, to charge as much as they can because the award points are going to increase and rack up for the bishop. I had a problem with that. So we're going to be looking into all of these things. And along with assistance programs, what I'm saying is we can also look forward to savings programs. Your support gives us the strength to do what it is that we're preparing to do. And so when I kept saying before that the members of the House of Prayer does not understand, you don't realize how you're hindering progress by supporting the former administration, you're hindering our progress. We could have had these things set up a while ago if the members stood up so that we could get out from underneath of this tyranny that's holding all the members by control and saying, no, 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 nothing for you, everything for us. And if you don't understand by now that the former administration and all through the years was literally taking advantage of all the members and giving nothing to the members, if you can't see that by now, especially after a couple of weeks ago with the partial government shutdown, I don't know what to tell you. All I can say is that's why we're doing what we're doing. And even if you don't see the vision today, you will experience the vision tomorrow when all these things get set up and you're now receiving the help that you were hoping to get from the former administration. It makes no sense that our members are outside the House of Prayer going to little teeny tiny community developments for assistance. The Catholics are helping our members. Presbyterians, Salvation Army, Red Cross helping our members. Our members should be tapping into the resources from our own organization. It is an absolute embarrassment. And we're going to do something about that. So again, your support gives us the strength and the motivation and the encouragement that we need. And by that, I mean in paper, to go forward and do what it is that we're going to be doing. We want to extend our gratitude. We want to thank everybody for their patience. We want to thank you all for those who are currently supporting what we're doing. Again, there's this wave of excitement all around the organization. And we want to thank you all for trusting us with this responsibility that we now have as far as the board of directors. We're not in charge. We're not in any position of authority as of yet. However, we're one step closer. And when we stand in front of the outside authorities and allow them to see that we're eager, that we're anxious, that we're ready to go, then they will not initiate the rulings that they normally have to initiate, which is go back and do this, go back and do that, and go back and do that. Other than that, what they otherwise do is remove executive offices, and sometimes they dissolve the entire organization. I mean, it's done, it's over with. We cannot rely on the former administration to fix these problems. I understand right now that there are people traveling around the organization trying to boost convocation in Miami. While they're traveling around the organization, I understand that they're putting money on people's names for G-Class. Let me ask you a question. I'm going to ask two questions. Where's the money coming from that these individuals are putting on people's names for G-Class? Second question. How is it that the G-Class program is helping any of you put food on your table? How is it that it's helping any of you get training that you need so that you can get the job that's going to put the money into your bank account to also put food on your table? And I don't mean any job, I mean a professional job. We're looking at also coming up with programs to train people how to set up and establish your own business. We're not looking for individuals to just work jobs. Why can't our members establish their own business? Why can't we teach you how to be self-employed? We have a lot of pastors and pastors' families owning businesses in the house of prayer. My question is, how did they get those businesses? Where did the money come from? When did they get time to set up businesses that many of the members of the house of prayer don't know nothing about? Do y'all see that these are concerns that outside is going to be looking at? While the members of the organization are going without, we're looking to change all of these things. So we want to thank you all for standing by our side as we take on this daunting but necessary task. Your support, again, is what we're thanking you all for. And even when the work is heavy, and you all don't see it, but it's long, Maria and I, oh gosh, we've been doing, now that I think back, right around maybe the summer of 23, we started doing this, working on this, and individuals was jumping in and helping us. And so we want to thank those individuals, you know who you are, who is assisting us, whether by phone, by email, by text. But we thank everybody who's now currently involved. And with that, I want to thank you all once again for those of you who are attending the meeting tonight. And I thank you for your participation right now. With that said, we want to move right along into our election. Before we begin, I want to open up the opportunity for anybody to ask questions if you have any. No, none at the moment. Okay. I see a comment. Someone said that the Catholics helped my mother and she was a pastor's wife. Yeah. I've seen many of our members go out to the Catholic community. I shared a video that showed a mosque in Charlotte helping a young lady get baby formula when she called around to several places, one of them being a specific house of prayer. And we know how this works. So I didn't fault that house of prayer or the individual that picked up the phone. We don't have any programs set up, so they don't know what to tell people who call for help. This is the responsibility of those in charge. The board of directors, we are at fault. So once we take that baton and run with it, whatever success we have, okay, it's a teamwork effort. But whatever failures we have, we're the ones to blame. The former administration, what success do we have at all showing that the organization at any time has helped the members? Why is it we have streets being named after certain people? All of the funds going into the organization is going in people's pocket. Nothing is being done for the people of the house of prayer or people outside. And it's now time for all of that to come to an end. So with that said, see, we didn't do this with the first election, but I was wondering if we might get an opportunity to hear about or from the people being nominated. I was going to talk about that. And the reason why we didn't do it before is because these are extenuating circumstances. And because these are extenuating circumstances, there's a need to do things a little bit differently. And we have the right, we have the opportunity, we have the allowance to go a little bit differently than normal election processes. Whenever you have an organization or a situation within a company that's been incorporated, whether for profit or nonprofit, and the people are already in the know, they're already working together, then there's no issues. So everything you must comply with what's already been set up. Whenever there's an internal struggle, whenever there's a change of governance, then there becomes a situation where you have to take other things into account. So because of those other things, we are allowed, especially when you're looking at reconfiguring or reconstructing a organization, you're now kind of allowed to do things a little bit differently. And by that, I mean, as we're talking about with the board of directors. So because we didn't have anything fully open, we allowed for the individuals to just let us know if you're interested in working with us. And then we can have an election for individuals to vote for you to jump on into the board. And we have to start somewhere. So the authorities will look at this and they will see that, well, we don't have a choice but to use what we have. At the same token, we don't want to make anybody a target. So by that, I mean, you have one or two individuals, again, that I was told, calling people or sending out text messages. We're not trying to paint a target on anybody's back. Not that anything is going to happen, not that we're anticipating anything happening, but the reality is we don't know where the individuals live. Some of these individuals might live in communities that are surrounded by members of the organization. We have a lot of apartments. We have a lot of housing complexes. So we're not trying to throw people kind of out there to the wolves, so to speak. So the reason why we had individuals register through our email is so that people would not have their personal information, if that makes sense. So the individuals whose information we have is so that we can show the authorities that we did everything legitimately. But we are also taking some caution and not putting everybody's information out there as of yet. I'm waiting on a little bit more information. And then when I get that information, then we'll be looking at perhaps putting out a list for everyone. Right now, it's not necessary to do that. Right now, it's not mandatory. So we can kind of get away right now with not putting out certain information. And again, the authorities, they understand that very well. So I have names. One of those names are not able to make it tonight. I talked to them about, well, it ran into 7 o'clock, which is why I was still getting set up. They had an emergency situation with one of their family members, and they're not making it tonight because they're handling that situation. So they did confirm for me, however, that they're not changing their interest. So with that in mind, I let them know not to worry about it. I'll still put their name up and we can still go forward with the election due to extenuating circumstances. And again, we're using who we have so that we can go ahead and get set up for the future. We have another individual that may be online, and if they don't mind, I will allow them to let us know if they want to say anything right now. They can type something out, they can say something on Zoom, or they can call my phone. They have my number, and then I can let them talk if they choose to. If they're not comfortable yet doing that, then again, I'll allow them to have that space, that decision to make that choice. But we do have a couple of names. UHOP bylaws. Let me read this and then we'll get into that. And thank you, Josh. I appreciate that. It was a Catholic nun that got out of her sick bed next to mine and prayed. Are we on Zoom now? Show the people how to join. Invite. The UHOP bylaws states that you must be a member in good standing to hold a position in the church, and you must be an active member also. Yeah, thank you, Giovanni. But we're not going by the House of Prayer bylaws. I've already established the fact that the House of Prayer bylaws are unlawful, and I've already gotten confirmation that they're not valid anyway. We're doing things by the law of the land and what it is that we're setting up for the organization. We're also making sure that what we're setting up is aligned with the laws of the land. And we're doing things based on Robert's Rules of Order, which is why I've been adamant about making sure that every single thing I do is documented. So nobody's going to have a problem. Nobody's going to find fault in the way that we're doing anything that we do, because I'm ensuring that we're doing everything by the law. But I've been telling everybody since January, me and my wife watch the videos, while the former administration, they've been telling everybody around the organization, don't watch the videos. Well, now members want to know what's going on. But now you understand that y'all been put into a position where now y'all way behind, and we're going forward. I'm not trying to go over information that's been put inside of videos. We've literally put over 1,000 hours in these videos. And if I sit down and do the math, I'm sure it's probably more than 2,000 hours. Me and my wife up, sleepless nights, days without end. My point is there's so much information in these videos that it even explains the law, how our leaders have been unlawfully doing things, how they've been deceiving the members of the organization, how they've been manipulating the members of the organization, why it is that we're so far behind. So I know it may take you a while, but just start with one single video and listen so that you all can catch up. But yeah, the bylaws of the House of Prayer, it says a lot of things. But one thing I want to, I will leave you with this legal terminology called willful intent to defraud. Willful intent to defraud. Another term is conspiracy to defraud. That's just two legal terms where our former administration is going to have a problem, because the evidence clearly shows that what they've been doing has been willful. It's been intentional. And they've knowingly defrauded the entire organization for years. And the members, y'all don't have to hear me at all. But I've been saying this entire time, watch the videos. So I don't know what else to tell you all now, because many of y'all are way behind. And so some of you are asking me questions, even on comments on the videos. But now it's a waste of my time, because we have a whole lot more to do. And there's still other videos that I said I'm still going to make, which I am. But there's so much to review, so much to look at to make sure that we're not doing anything outside of bounds, which is another problem for me. Because we have a lot of members who, well, Louis, y'all got to do this. You got to do that. You got to do this. You got to do that. You got to do this. Okay. But nobody's telling the former administration what they have to do. Everybody's telling me I need to, why am I not sitting down with Mr. Cunningham? Why am I not hashing this out with Mr. Cunningham? I'm just a member of the House of Prayer. That's the bishop, formerly. The entire general council and every single pastor knew that he was in violation and that they're in violation. But not one member has gone to them to ask them, why are y'all not pulling Brother Lewis, Sister Lewis in here to sit down with them? Everybody coming at us. We have the law on our side. It doesn't matter whether the members believe it or like it. I know that they've been lying to every single one of us. I know they've been hurting you. They're using you to defend them. Why are y'all defending them? Why hasn't any of them made one statement? Not one of them made one statement. Not once. Not Mrs. Madison, Mr. Cunningham, none of the general counsel, none of the pastors came forward to make one single statement on behalf of these concerns to any of the members throughout the entire organization. They're not even answering your questions. And if you ask a question, we got people right now having real problems because chairmen are doing things personally to them because they asked a question. And I'm telling those people, get ready, because this is a clear case of retaliation. And y'all know they've been practicing intimidation and fear tactics. Just like when I heard about they put people's name in the microphone during convocation and call them to counsel, and they fine them just because they have something on Facebook or something online. They assume that they're working with us. And even if they were working with us, it's a clear case of retaliation. The leaders are in trouble for this. You can't intimidate people. This is a nonprofit. Believe it or not, as citizens of the United States of America, you got the full weight of the law behind you. They can't do this. Anyway, I'm just saying we're not worrying about the United House of Prayer bylaws. I have copied and sent them out as evidence that the members have been defrauded and manipulated and deceived for over 60 years. Over 60. I can't remember the number, the full number. But that's way more than enough. And the fact is that the current former administration, he's had Mr. Cunningham, he's had a hand in this under Mr. Bailey and under Mr. Madison. And it is clear, it's in writing. So for those members who's upset with us, okay, be upset. But I guarantee you, you're going to be thankful in a few short months from now, if not weeks. You will thank us for everything that's going on while we're thanking our Heavenly Father above. Because one thing's for sure, we're not going to be a part of corruption. And when y'all see the crimes that's been carried out in the house of prayer, okay. So anyway, yes, they don't have to be a member in good standing, because the law wants to know, what does good standing mean within the organization? The problem with this is good standing means whatever the former bishop wants it to mean. And the law says that's not good enough, because the former bishop and the former leaders have been able to tell people, okay, if we don't like you, you can't have your funeral in here. Your family members can't have a funeral in here no more. They can't even come and sing on a program. We've had professional singers that are related to members of the organization that passed, but because a bishop or a chairman had a problem with them because they exposed them or they saw they were doing something wrong, no, you can't have your funeral in here. This is wrong. You can't get married in here. Or now, because you ask a question, we're going to see to it that you can't be elected as a delegate to go to the General Assembly. And they do that because they don't want people in the General Assembly to speak out. That's called retaliation. What I'm telling you is,
happened to us.
Exactly. Mr. Cunningham had the entire organization, every house of prayer, and every pastor that went through this, they are complicit to his crime. This is a crime. It was a violation for him to do what he did because he knew that he was already in violation. He's been a part of obstruction of justice the same way as the council has, and every pastor that had another meeting to have the members elect new delegates for the second General Assembly in 1 year, outside law, they go, what in the world are y'all doing? Y'all doing whatever you feel like. Just because the bishop says, I got the final say, everybody in the organization going to feel the wrath that comes with the law of the land on how they've been treating not members of the house of prayer. Say it with me. U.S. taxpayers. If you are a citizen of this country and you paying taxes, you have the full weight of the United States government, the state government, the local government, city and county, for your big brother to come to the rescue. You can call the cavalry to come riding in. Now, mind you, this is not about the house of prayer. This is about the leaders who was taking advantage of every single one of us, me included. And that's why I didn't say anything about it before, but I kind of felt something personal towards all these members who got a problem with me, who's done more than just about everybody in here, with the exception of Brother Perry, maybe, a few others, Brother John Edwards. I talk about Apostle Potts. I talk about Apostle Thompson. These are men who went out and did something. But we got members all over the organization who looked at people who's taken their families into unknown territory, not getting a dime from the bishops, not getting a dime from the organization to help us, but they're buying houses, $400,000, $500,000 homes. We had a pastor that got $1 million house because he's in on the corruption. Y'all didn't know about it. They didn't put that house in the Truth and Facts. The houses that I put on my videos, they didn't put in Truth and Facts because it was done under the table. It was hidden from you all. How they paid hundreds of thousands of dollars for a house that they call a parsonage for a pastor of the house of prayer. Why didn't they do this for every pastor? These are problems that the law of the land are going to easily find refutable. So my point is, people, we're doing what we're doing to help the members. We're not doing it against the house of prayer. If this was against the house of prayer, believe me when I tell you, the whole organization would have been shut down in 2020. By the beginning of 2024, it would have been shut down. It would have been shut all the way down. We're fighting to keep the house of prayer up and running. The name of the organization may be changed, and a whole lot of other things is going to be changed because of the corruption that's been attached to the name because of the illegal activities by the leaders that were in here. The law of the land knows this wasn't the members that did this. It's just a handful of people. And they've been taking every single one of us for a ride. And they're using the ones of y'all who still supporting them and getting mad at what we're doing. They're using you still right now. That's why we talked about crash test dummies. They've been treating us all like dummies. When I talk about the bands and the choirs, juke joint, house of prayer juke joint, they're just using y'all too. And then one of the next videos is going to be showing you in your face what it looks like for the elders, the bands, and the choirs. I'm going to show you exactly how they're using you. And I'm telling you, you're not going to like it. When you see for real how they're using you according to the laws of the land, you're not going to like it. So with that in mind, I did not mean to go into all of this. But with all the money that has been collected over the years, can we establish some kind of burial security within the house of prayer? These are good suggestions that, again, we're going to talk about collectively, and we have to look at different things. Believe it or not, one of the things coming up to be discussed was having insurance policies for the members of the organization. That's a simple fix. That's such an easy thing to do that it bothered me, because when I'm looking at some of these programs already, believe it or not, Grace Aid, that's a scandal. It's a scam. The scholarship award, It's a scam. The Scholastic Achievement Award, it's a scam. And some of us are having problems because I'm calling it like I see it. Well, when you get out there, people out there are going to call it like they see it. They're not going to care who likes it. They're going to care the fact that you got people sitting at the top of this organization for all these years, robbing y'all blind. And I'm out here, the biggest cheerleader on their behalf. When we found out, woo, okay, now, who was that? Like Della Reese back in the day. So now I got to cut you. So now that we know you've been lying to us the whole, okay, we coming after you. We're going to use the law of the house of prayer, and we're going to use the law of the land, because this has got to stop. So think about this. If we didn't catch this, if we weren't blessed to catch what it was that he did, y'all have no idea just how bad it was going to get. And right now, the Constitution that we have right now, complete law firms have looked at this and shook their head. And the people, they did nothing about it. So thank you that this is being corrected. Because if this didn't get fixed, there'd be nothing you'd be able to do. There's something called precedence and statute of limitations. So anyway, let's go ahead and go forward. So yeah, we'll talk about that insurance issue later. Right, Wally, for lack of knowledge. I know several members, many years ago who were turned down for help because they said they were House of Prayer members. Right. I'm glad you brought that up. Outside, when people go to outside agencies for help, some of them are now turning you away. If you mention that you're a member of the House of Prayer, some of them are now turning you away because they're saying it's unfair. It's unfair for you all to be a part of that great, big, gigantic organization, and they're doing nothing. And they're also looking at you as a member because they're saying you gave all that you did to the organization that's not doing anything to help you. We're not going to help you. You put yourself in that predicament. These outside institutions are looking at helping people who did not take what they had in their pocket and throw it at people, make them rich. And now they're going to people for help. Another problem is they know that people who took help from their institution, see this, I'm going to give you an example because this is real. When you seek help outside and they give you a check to help you, and that check comes back that has been cashed by the United House of Prayer for All People, they know that you took their resources and gave it to the organization. And that becomes a red flag because these charitable institutions, they're not taking the charity to give to another charity. They're taking the money to give to people in need. And it becomes a red flag when that check pops up with a stamp from the United House of Prayer for All People who cashed it. That means somebody took the check from there and went to the House of Prayer and gave it to them. So now the question is, did you need the help? Or did you take the help that somebody else could have gotten and then go and give it to the House of Prayer? That's what happened to the stimulus check. Y'all remember how many Addie's Club pins were given out when people who had a stimulus check? What was that, Boo?
I definitely gave my money to somebody else's G class.
Yes. Full transparency. I did too. We put other people on Addie's Club. It came to us automatically. See, when you're going to help people, you don't ask them, you go ahead and help them. So when the stimulus checks went out, it went out automatically to people. We took ours and put other people on it. And we were elated to see their reaction, because these were people who never been on it and never got the applause and the accolades. My point is, that's where it went. Individuals who really, 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 really needed it put it in there because the leaders were telling them, well, you're going to be blessed if you put it in. And so they say, may you get it back in double. But the problem is when they get it back, you ask them for that too. Anyway, thank you for making that point. Outside is now turning people down. Not everybody, but outside. So some have even told the members of House of Prayer, don't tell them that you're from the House of Prayer now. But still, there's something wrong with that. Thanks for answering the question. I totally understand where you're coming from with protecting the member nominees, how our situation is. Right. And not that anything's going to happen again, but we know that there's some concerns, right? Because you have children that's doing things and posting things right now on Facebook. Let me say this before I go further. It is embarrassing and it's humiliating for the organization, because we have a lot of members on Facebook using all kinds of abusive language, all kinds of profanities. Your names are there. It's easy to track your names. It's one thing for our leaders, former leaders, and pastors who was using my name in sermons, not knowing what they're doing. That's a clear-cut case of defamation. It's a clear-cut case of slander. You don't hear it no more because I made a video letting them know, y'all on record. I intentionally kept my mouth shut because I have an understanding of the law. Let people talk. The pen is a whole lot mightier than the sword. So my point here, people, is many of us are standing on the wrong side of the fence. And y'all been hearing from us all day long. No, we're in this together. We're in this together. Even the security of the House of Prayer, the leaders have been trying to turn the security against us to cause a personal issue with us. We don't have nothing personal against security. They're lying to them too. They're using them too. Security pay money in G-Class. The Royal Guards give all kinds of money, and other security groups. My point is, just like I made a video about security, the members don't realize they don't have no hand in this. They ain't concerned about the politics of the House of Prayer. They're just trying to do a job. So we understand that. It's the other side that's trying to cause dissension and anger and division. All of us need to stand united, because when it all comes down to it at the end of the day, the former leaders will be the ones answering a whole lot of questions. Y'all go and look at David Taylor's deposition online. That man had to sit there by himself and answer questions from a lawyer. And now he's getting ready to be penalized because he was breaking the law. David Taylor did a small, for all of you who saw Heliocentric, Jared Smith's video, he told you that man did something tiny compared to the House of Prayer. That's nothing. And when they have to sit there with their deposition coming up later, you members not going to be sitting there beside them trying to bail them out. When y'all hear all the stuff they've been doing, y'all going to be mad. Y'all, ooh. But when we do what we need to do, y'all going to be so excited. So we are excited. The board right now, they're anxious. They're eager. All day long, phone just bing, 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 message after message after message. They're ready to go. So we're simply excited to be sharing this with you all, and we're ready to serve you all. So thank you, Josh. I appreciate that. Definitely makes total sense, especially since everything is still so delicate. New laws is what we need. Exactly. Above is the Zoom link, Maria said. Someone said to me, we're bringing division. No, yeah, a lot of people are saying a lot of things. Again, everything that you've heard from this side. Well, let me just put it like this. Who said, mind your mouth? Who said in a so-called sermon and read scripture? Boom. And read scripture. He who keepeth his mouth keepeth his life. This is a threat. We know it's a threat. Guess who else knows it's a threat? Now, mind you, at the same time, who gave a so-called sermon said, when haters hate? Try to turn the entire congregation of Newport News against me and my wife, calling us haters. They did not steal your victory. What are you talking about? We weren't there because we were against what the members are doing. We were there because we were against what you're doing. The same thing that Jared said in his video. He said, I don't hate you. We don't hate you. I've said before, I love you. People seeing me break down on the video for Mr. Bailey, thinking about him. We love you. We don't like what you're doing. We don't like the fact that you're stealing and robbing the people. I didn't like the fact that you bought a brand new, another one, Maybach, and pulled up at a time when people don't have food to put on their table. And then you're telling them to give more money next year. And then you in the sermon talking about some of you didn't give anything. You're either lying or you don't want to do. What are we doing? So anybody saying that we're bringing division, all you have to do is tell them, listen, if that's what you think, then you definitely need to watch the videos. You need to watch the videos more than anybody else. And if you don't watch the videos, then you're one of those individuals that the Bible talks about, that they would rather believe a lie than hear the truth. How is it that a bishop of this entire organization, with all the security guards, with all the money, control over all these people, why is he running around the country afraid of us? He said in January, be out here tomorrow night. Why hasn't he said it since? So again, people, y'all, we have to be smarter than this. Don't let them turn you against your help. We're trying to help you all, as well as ourselves and everybody in the organization. They're trying to turn you against your help. They're not helping you. They're robbing you. So thank you again for sharing that with us. Stan,
Lord.
Yes, sir.
And don't forget to remind the people, he never denied any accusation.
Right.
Be mindful. He never denied any accusation.
Right.
A man that powerful, got all those guards, and can stand up and say what he want and not say, I didn't do it. That is a red flag.
It is.
Right. Out of all the things that we have said, to his point, they've never denied anything that we've said. I've called them liars. I've called them manipulators. I've called them deceivers. I said that Mrs. Madison was a handler. I've said that they've done things with children. I said they've done things with the same gender. They haven't denied any of it because they know that we have evidence. And for me to put myself on a video, knowing that I could be held liable.
Correct.
Why have they not done anything to take me to court? I dared them to take me to court. Members,
That's
you got to
they'll be
wake up.
They'll be forced to tell the truth.
Absolutely. And the court will confirm everything that I've said. And
Confirm.
once I lay a countersuit down, it's a wrap. And they know that. That's why he has not brought me into the house of prayer for a meeting. And every single member who's supporting him and still throwing money at him, okay. For the rest of the members, just understand, all this money that y'all have given already, the likelihood is that the order will be that you're going to get it back. Boom. I said it. Anyway, that's not guaranteed, but many a court have done exactly that, full restitution. And another legal term, for those of you who want to know, is called ill-gotten gains.
Mm-hmm.
When people have defrauded people to get money out of their pocket that they claim that they own legally, well, yeah, they gave it to you. You didn't steal it. But the method that you used to get them to give it to you was manipulative and deceptive practices. And the law now has laws written to see to it that people who do that end up paying fines, giving it back, and serve jail time because you are the biggest threat to the public. That's why Mr. Bernie Madoff is in prison right now serving over 100 years. They call people like that predators. Again, we're not wishing nothing on anybody, but these individuals have voluntarily and willfully lied and deceived and manipulated everybody in this organization. And they use your pastors and councilmen to assist them. And they knew exactly what they were doing the whole time. Even if the pastors didn't know what they were doing, the pastors know that they're not preaching the word. They know that they're taking you for your money. They know that all they're doing is raising money, giving it to him, and telling you that he's everything that that Bible says. And it's a lie. So anyway, this is why they've all been dismissed. There's not one pastor in the organization right now, according to the law of the land. But we have to wait for them to support and sustain us and the decision that we made in the declaration. Do you think those members will agree or will they stand with the old laws? It doesn't matter for the members. The law of the land, they're not interested in what the members think. They're only interested in the ones who broke the law, and they're interested in the ones who bring them forward. As far as what everybody else thinks, they don't care about that. In fact, the term for that in court is called hearsay. And hearsay is what? Inadmissible. They don't even allow it in court. Good standing is a blanket statement and very subjective. Right. Somebody said Bishop, the former Bishop Cunningham should have sat down with you and Sister Lewis the first week of the videos. Now it's a wildfire. Absolutely. Before this started, my wife was with me.
Or when we wrote the letters.
Right. We've written a letter for a year, several letters, a year and a half. She saw me talk to Apostle Cunningham. What was that, 2021?
Mm-hmm.
This is what I'm saying. For years, they've had every opportunity. So I really, for people who say all kinds of things about what we should be doing, watch the videos. Here's a question for the new administration. You have preachers still inside the UHOP who didn't go online. Are you now saying that if they don't agree with the board or your vision, they're excluded? No, we're not saying that. The law says that. The law will say whatever, when the law takes authority from executive officers who are breaking the law, and they give that authority to a new board, everything in the entire organization is now subject to the board. Everything. Now, let me make it even plainer. The law has a problem with one man saying he's in charge. A nonprofit organization, it's illegal for the CEO to say, if you don't want to follow me, get out the door. Mr. Cunningham and the council, they've been knocking it out the park for us. Every time they do something, they're helping us. All these things they've been doing and saying, it helps us. So just like case in point, you just talked about the elders. Mr. Cunningham says, as bishop, right? What if he went to Charlotte and he sat down 30 elders, took all their letters just like that? Are the elders anymore in the house of prayer? So when the board is in charge, every one of those elders are subject to the board, which is why the very first thing we're going to be doing is training. Because we have elders all over the organization that don't know a lick about the Bible. We got many elders.
Honey,
Yes. Yeah.
can I just add that a lot of the preachers that are still in there who maybe didn't go online, they were in the General Assembly when we were there.
Right.
So they were present to see what happened. So they're not completely in the dark.
Right. And we know they're not in the dark because we wrote letters. And we also know they're not in the dark because they've been given instructions by chairmen and pastors that literally go against the law. So every elder and every single man in there, they're not standing up for what's right. They're standing up for one man who's been the bishop of the organization. But they know that it's wrong. We call it indoctrination. The law calls it ignorance, ignoring and rejecting the law. There's one other word, neglect. They call it neglect. Neglect from your fiduciary duties. This is, again, legal terminology. This is what they call it. So thank you, Kirk, for that question. Are you now saying that if they don't agree with the board? Yeah, nobody has to agree with us, but you will be subject to whatever it is that the board decides on. Now, every single member has the right to have their voice heard. So whenever there's a meeting in the local houses to discuss the laws, the Constitution, and all these things, that's where your voice is heard. But this is why Mr. Cunningham has been keeping us out of the meetings, because he knows that's where the voices are heard. And if he can keep us out, that means he's obstructing justice so that we can't bring to the members the allegations against him in the council. So this whole time, all year long, we've been saying, watch the videos, watch the videos. So there's all kinds of lessons about our laws and the law of the land. That's why he calls himself the tsunami bishop. Something like that. Because all the destruction that's coming, wave after wave after wave of destruction is coming to tear down all this corruption. I see the vision, but we all must unite because it's not going to be easy. They're not going to let that money go so easily. They will get the very best law. No. We don't have to worry about none of that. No. Listen, we don't have to worry about the money. We don't have to worry about the property. We don't have to worry about nothing. The board right now doesn't have to do anything. We don't have to do nothing whatsoever. Nothing whatsoever. So everybody, please don't worry. This is going to be the biggest lesson of all the members of the House of Prayer. You have the government as your big brother. When people do wrong to you, what do you call? Somebody break into your house, what do you call? You hear a noise in the middle of the night, what do? 911.
All the police. Mm-hmm.
Why are you calling the police? Because they are public servants. Well, how they work for you? Because you're a taxpayer. Who does your mayor work for? You. They're a public servant. Governors, congressmen, guess who else? The president of the United States is a public servant. People, this is all, listen, you don't have to worry about nothing. When they decide that the executive officers are to be removed and hit with other penalties for all this other stuff they've been doing, you don't have to worry about anything. They're going to make sure. They're going to do it. We don't have to do nothing. All we got to do is set up the board and get ready. That's how, I'm telling y'all, listen, we've done so many that y'all don't know who's in here. All you got to do is sit still. Just like Moses told the Israelites, stand still.
Stand still.
Just stand still and watch what happens. So with that in mind, same thing, facts. Oh my gosh, yes. Where they're telling the truth, there's no reason for HOP members to have had to be outside for help. And it's better to give ministry of service. Let's go ahead and deal with the election so that anybody that has to go can go, and we can stay a little bit longer to finish any more questions. We have two names right now. The third, I have to come back to. So there's two names to complete the remaining 3 seats. And there's 1 seat that will be left. But the 2 names I have is Mr. James Bishop and Mr. Kenny Jackson. Are either of those 2 individuals here that you would like to say anything at all or not? If you don't, then feel free to not respond. If you do, then feel free to respond. And like I said, if you want to call me, then I can just put you on speaker. But if not, then we'll go ahead forward with the election.
Yes, I'm present.
Okay. So we have one here. And is there anything, would you like to say anything, or would you like to remain at the moment incognito while we continue doing what we're doing with the board? Or would you like the opportunity to say something? But it's entirely up to you.
Yeah, I just want to say good evening to everyone, and that I am a former commissioner of 2 terms, and I am a current business owner, and I'd like to throw my hat in the ring for a nomination for a seat on the board. Okay.
You all heard 2-term commissioner. And for those who don't know what a commissioner is, don't worry. He's going to be offering a whole lot of expertise and a whole lot of knowledge to the board. We have some very, very knowledgeable individuals already on the board. And that is one of the individuals that we have that will be voting on tonight. The other is Mr. James Bishop. And that is the individual that had an emergency situation. I told him not to worry about it. We spoke just before we got started. So those are the 2 names. Now, what we did during the night of the election, because we did not have enough men available to fill the seats, we simply put up a vote to allow the individuals to say yay or nay. And of course, since we need individuals in the seats, the vote just simply went yes. If we have a situation where you have more bodies than seats, well, then you have to get into the protocols of having an actual election as well as nominations. But because we have 3 more seats and 2 more names currently, then the opportunity to make it official is that we'll just vote on those 2 names to be added to the board. And like Joshua said, we did not get into background. We didn't get into experience, all of those things. That will come later after we have reconstructed and reformed the organization. Then we will pull things in line with how to normally do what we're supposed to do. But right now, given the circumstances, we're using what it is that we have. We're using the individuals that are willing to help us get things set up. And that's why we're going this route. So with that in mind, is there anything that anybody else would like to say before we open up the floor for the votes? And by opening the floor for the votes, I mean nominations. Going once, going twice. Nothing else. Okay, so at this time, everyone, I'm pleased to open up the floor for the nominations for the seats on the board of directors known as regional representatives. And we have 3 seats available. We have 2 names on the floor being nominated or throwing their names in for nominations, which is James Bishop and Mr. Kenny Jackson. Right now, is there any other brother?
Question.
Yes.
What was the name of the gentleman that just spoke? Our sound was turned down, so I didn't get his name.
We didn't say, but the 2 names are James Bishop and the other is Kenny Jackson, but we didn't say the name of the individual that's on right now.
Okay.
Yeah. James couldn't be in again because of an emergency that he's dealing with a family member. But both of them is a huge asset to the board. And just like before, we didn't get into backgrounds of individuals. We're just using whoever's available and who doesn't mind joining to serve the organization. So is there any other brothers who considered jumping in to help us out? Because there is 1 seat remaining that we could go ahead and close tonight out by having the remainder of the seats filled. If not, then we'll look for that 3rd individual to come back later and we can finish.
Excuse me, can I make a suggestion?
Yes, sir.
Since we stand in the need of 3, and we have 2 that's available at this moment, and we have the 3rd one who is interested but have been called away for emergency situation, is it possible, since no one is nominated, I want to be nominated, I don't hear anybody volunteer to be nominated at this time, can we go ahead and have a vote on those 3 names and move forward?
We can, but let me clarify. We have 2 names, one of which is taking care of an emergency. One is here tonight. The 3rd, it's up in the air as to whether or not they will be able to, to serve. So, and also we want to give the time necessary if we have any brothers that are here that have not considered, but they're now considering whether or not they would like to serve on the board. Well, we're going to open up that opportunity as well. So if there's anybody else that would like to, let us know, and then we'll go ahead and fill up that 3rd seat. And if there's more than one, then we can go ahead and put the names to a vote for that 3rd seat. Going once. Going twice. Very well. If that be all at this time, we'll go ahead and vote on the 2 names that we have available to us on the floor as a nomination. And let me just ask all of those in favor of adding Brother James Bishop and Brother Kenny Jackson to our board of directors as it stands, let it be known by simply typing yes, yay, or saying yay.
Yay.
Okay, and Sister Lewis, are you counting? There's still some coming up?
Yes.
Okay. And I'm just scrolling back up to see where I stopped.
Can we pause, please, sir?
Yes, I was just scrolling back up to see where I paused the questions so that I can come back to them when we're done. And go ahead, Sister Lewis, what was it that you needed to pause for?
Brother Jeremy Killingsworth posted, you can throw my name in.
Oh, wow. Okay. And Kill, just understand at times we're going to need individuals to actually do a few things hands-on and in person. We might be able to get around that. So let me just share this. We did have a stipulation for a couple of reasons. For individuals that might not be able to travel, we opened up the opportunity for those individuals to handle as much as they can handle virtually, while we allow somebody else on the board to fill in for them physically if need be. And we discussed this the last meeting. For those of you that were not a part of that meeting, I'm bringing this up to make you all aware that since we discussed that in the last meeting, I'm only sharing with you all so that y'all understand, because Mr. Killingsworth is currently out of the country. So given the fact that he's out of the country and he's going back and forth, there might be issues in the future, whereas he may not be able to take care of something on hand. But we did discuss before that if that's an extenuating circumstance, that somebody else might be able to fill in for them if necessary. So does everyone understand what I just said? And is there anything that I need to say further to clarify? No? Okay. So if his name goes in, or since he's volunteering, that will complete the third seat. And with that in mind, then we can just go forward. All of those in favor of the 3, Jeremy Killingsworth, also being added, then let us do the same thing and say yay or type yay.
Yay. I just could just say yes.
Yeah.
I'm sounding like I'm in school. Yay.
And we will wait until the votes stop coming in. Good. Is there anyone who opposes?
Please hold so we can break it on the chat.
Okay.
Please hold.
And we're going to give another 20 seconds. Are there any more votes coming in? Is that all? We good, Sister Lois?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
That's 14-0.
So we're grateful and we're glad to be able to announce that our board is now full and we have the 3 remaining seats filled with the 3 additional members of our board. And once again, those names is Brother James Bishop, Brother Kenny Jackson, and Brother Jeremy Killingsworth. So their names will be added as of tonight. And welcome the 3 of you to the board. I will be sending you all as well welcome packets and a packet to sign for you all to understand a board commitment agreement. And what that means is every single one of us will be signing an agreement that shows our commitment not only to the members of the organization, but to the organization itself by adhering to the laws of the organization and the laws of the land. And by signing this commitment agreement, we're also putting ourselves out there that we will be doing everything with understanding, as well as in full compliance with the laws and the regulation agencies to regulate us as a 501c3. Anything going forward, we'll discuss and we'll talk about later, but once again, we'll keep everything transparent. So we're grateful to add those 3 names. We now have a full board of 15 members, and that should do the trick going forward. We will be adding committees as well as subcommittees, and we'll be coming before the members to allow you all to understand and know maybe 1 or 2 weeks prior to that time. At this time, we want to thank you all for participating and letting us have this time and this space. Congratulations to you, Brother Jackson, Brother Killingsworth, and Brother Bishop, though he's not on the line. I have a couple more questions here and commentary. Same thing the Bishop tell him. As we read down before closing out, telling the truth. The last thing I read was in regards to they will have a good lawyer. I'm not going to say too much about that. That was the comment where I read that they're not going to let money go. They can have a team of lawyers, but Maria will tell you, okay, we've had a certain case where the same case that I've built evidence for and sitting in files. Maria, how many lawyers, when they saw the evidence compiled, how many of them quit? Was it 3?
Could you repeat yourself? I apologize.
The case that I was working on, that I've compiled evidence, how many lawyers during discovery, when they saw the documentation that I had?
3.
3 lawyers. When they saw the evidence, they quit on the spot. They knew that they're fighting a losing case. No lawyer is going to go into the arena knowing that they're going to lose. This case, we've won already. There's not a lawyer that I can think of, any lawyer that takes this case on behalf of the organization's former leadership, they're only in it to get paid. They know they're going to lose right off the bat. If they take it, they're only in it to get paid. My point is, the route that we're going, they will only need a lawyer to advise them, because we're not looking to, well, y'all will see. But yeah, there's No one has to worry about a thing going forward. Groups live, same thing. Seeing if there's any other questions left. Question: does Addie know they're on Facebook talking like? Boy, I'm sure he does. We have members all around the organization that talk like that. I can't imagine he doesn't know. Yeah. Bishop Cunningham gave the old Maybach to First Lady Bailey. Dolores Madison, Mrs. Madison, she don't need a Maybach. She doesn't need a Maybach. She got Rolls Royces, and I don't believe a word that any of them say, period. And for me personally, it doesn't matter what they give away. Mr. Cunningham has been having his suits auctioned off during morning services during convocation. Right? So with that in mind, right? 1 second. So with that in mind, right? 1 second. Okay. He's been auctioning off suits during convocation. Members have paid $1,600, $1,800 for a suit that he owned because they say it's blessed. Now, my point is that it doesn't matter that they've been auctioning off his clothes. It doesn't matter that he's saying he's giving things away. At this point, no matter what he does, it's too late to try to work with us to rectify these concerns. And that's all I'm saying. But the Maybach, yeah, there's a fleet of vehicles, just so the members understand. Huge red flag. Absolutely, Janice. Brother Kells said he actually denied one thing, saying that he had said he was God or Jesus. Oh, yeah. He's not denying any of the allegations that we made, other than what Kill is saying. He said that he denied saying that he was God or Jesus. And then I played the recording so that everybody could see that he did actually say it. Ms. Mintz, I'm sure we all could use a refund given the current state of the economy. Yeah, don't look forward to the refund. No, that's not what you should look forward to. You should look forward to the organization being ordered into the hands of the board of directors, the newly elected replacement governance replacement board of directors. Once they do that, then the member's not going to have to worry about anything else. Again, for the first time in the history of the organization, we're trying to get things set up so that we can assist the people in need. That's all this is about. Will the doors across every state be locked for a time period, even with a board being established? I can't see that happening. If that happens, that'll be by an order of the regulating agencies or the court. The fact that we are putting a board together will perhaps eliminate the need for any regulation agency to penalize the organization by going to those extremes. I don't think that they're going to say shut the doors, dissolve the organization. I don't think we're going to get hit with penalties. If anything, they will seek to penalize the former administrations, and they will see that we're lining up ourselves to get everything in line with the law. So anytime an ordinance, Anytime an organization has an internal struggle and there is a collective body of people inside that's trying everything they can to the best of their ability to fix the organization from within, every single time the powers that be outside, they'll give them that opportunity to fix it. Most of the time. And they do that because two things. The group that's trying to fix it is showing them we've been trying, but they who are in positions of power are hindering our progress. And the authorities know that they have influence. So that's one. Two, no agency wants to be sued. Because if they shut the organization down and there's members within trying to fix it, then now we can say, no, you shut it down while we're trying to fix it. It looks like you want to put your hands on the assets of the organization. So they skirt around that issue by saying, go ahead and fix it. We're going to penalize these over here because of the things that they did wrong. And we'll hit them with fines. And believe me, there will be fines. There's going to be a lot of fines that they're going to have to answer to. Because there's been a whole lot of, I'm going to use one word, evasion. There's been a lot of evasion, okay? So hopefully you all understand what that means, evasion. If you don't, ask somebody or look it up. And that's been going on for years. Personal evasion, monies that they're getting personally. And then when the funds of the organization is being spent on them, there's another law that's called inurement and personal benefit. They're using the money for personal expenses. So thank you for that point, that question. You're trying to take it out like a tsunami. Done already. The state court will order a new election if it gets to that point. No, they're not going to do that at all. Again, we have a lot of people saying a lot of stuff that don't understand how the law works. Go back and look at the videos. Okay. If there is a question about an election, if there's a discrepancy about an election, if there are complaints about an election, then the courts might order a re-election. It doesn't work that way when you're complaining about governance issues. They will simply remove the executive officers and put the corporation in the hands of the board, because it's the board's job to get another CEO. That's how it works. The court is not going to order a new election. So make sure, again, y'all go back and watch these videos so that you understand how this stuff works. This is not an election issue. And since it's not an election issue, the court is not looking at making this an election issue. Even though he put himself in the seat, I'm not making this an election issue because I don't need to. I'm making this a constitutional issue to steer the direction of the court's attention to the Constitution, not to the election. The constitutional issue took place way before the election, which means by law, Mr. Cunningham was not qualified to even be put in the chair in the first place. And that's why he had the entire organization as the senior minister, as the General Assembly secretary, and as the head judge. He sat in 3 seats, which also is a conflict of interest. Y'all go back and look at the videos. We're not going to spend any more time on that. Again, the court's not going to go in that direction. They're going to look at the Constitution. So do ministers that are not in position or currently a pastor like you still there, get a say in a newly written constitution that the board votes on. Once you take over, do they get a chance to vote? I'm not claiming to be a minister in the House of Prayer anymore. I'm saying that I was. And because I was unlawfully removed, by law, I'm still under the scope of a minister that was unlawfully removed. I'm not claiming that in my paperwork. So when I look at individuals, even on the board, we're not talking about elder or a saint or a missionary or apostle. No. We're looking at brothers and sisters. The board of directors is brother and sister. Why? Because all of the titles is a problem. The former bishops was giving out titles like it's M&Ms. And we know that it was by favoritism. This is why we talk about the General Assembly Secretary, which is also unlawful. Because, excuse me, it's also unlawful for the General Assembly Secretary because every year the General Assembly Secretary is supposed to be nominated and elected by the General Assembly. These are the laws. But the General Assembly did not nominate or elect the General Assembly Secretary. They were always appointed. So the council, they got together and they knew who to put there. And that's how it's been going year in and year out. What is my point as we get ready to close out? My point is that the whole thing all these years has been nothing more than a show. It's always been fraudulent. It's always been fake. It's always been fixed. And this is what the laws of the land are going to see. And they're going to determine that. I'm just telling you all as members of the organization, all this time we've been lied to and deceived. And they know it. So whenever y'all want to find something else out, try to ask the men in there to get to Mr. Cunningham or Mrs. Madison and ask them, why have y'all not tried to sit down with Brother Lewis? Why have y'all not tried to bring this matter in front of the people? The answers are obvious. So the ministers that are not in position, a minister is a pastor in the house of prayer. So if they're not in position, they're not a minister. They're just an elder, a local elder, or currently a pastor. Do they get a say in a newly written constitution? Well, again, everybody going forward will be heard. Everybody going forward will have a say-so. But in order to be heard and in order to have a say-so, they have to be in the meeting. So there's people, a handful of people was shocked to hear that we now have a board of directors. And a handful of people had something to say about it. Well, guess what? The time to say something was during the meeting. I invited everybody to the meeting, including the council and the bishop. At that time, the first 3 meetings that we had, they did not come. No problem. Well, I knew they wasn't coming. So we just use what we have. And now we have a board. And the law of the land is going to see to it that this board functions as a board. So all these ministers, they have to fall in line. As we go forward, anybody that has a position or title in there right now, none of that matters. None of that matters. Because all positions and titles have been functioning under corruption. So when it comes to laws of the land, they're only interested in positions where people are standing up and trying to do things according to the law. And all these titles and positions in the house of prayer, no. Like I said before, when we were having the first election, they cannot be a part of this. Why? Because we know that they're corrupt. They've been misleading the members. Why jump in now that we have a board of directors? Why jump in now and say, oh, I want to lead? No. All these years, you've been in a position leading the members wrong, steering the members into believing false doctrine so that you can take their money. And the only thing that these elders and pastors have been looking out for is number one, themselves, trying to get a bigger title, trying to get a bigger position. They wasn't caring about the people. Now change is coming. And people will have real people sitting around the top, making real decisions on their behalf for the benefit of the members and the organization. All this time you had men sitting at the top making decisions for the benefit of themselves. They could care less about the members of the organization. All they want is for the members to give their money. So as we go forward, and I think we might have one or two more. Two or three. I have to turn speakers down. What about codes to be met where the houses are run down? What about codes to be met where the houses are run down? Thank you, Blanche. Every property, every single property of the organization, every one will be inspected. Immediately, every single one. We're going to talk about all of this. I'm not making decisions about what's going to be, what's going to be, what's going to be. I'm telling you the things that I've jotted down as suggestions that we can propose immediately. On that list is an inspection of all of the properties, the apartments and the houses of the house of prayer. Many of them are in situations where they need to be condemned. I'm just telling you. They've been pouring money into new apartment buildings, condominiums, brand new complexes and whatnot. Why? Because they're using different things to create other income streams that they're peeling off of that you don't know nothing about. And they're telling you, we're doing all this for us. Okay. How many of y'all, can y'all type in me or say yes? How many of y'all have ever taken a ride in any of the Maybachs or any of the cars that the bishops of the House of Prayer had? Nobody? 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 Nobody. So how is this ours? Do y'all understand that these laws were written to favor one man who's taking care of scratching the back of a handful of men and one woman? Do y'all know it's in the Constitution that the organization must provide transportation for the bishop? How many of y'all knew that? Question. Who decides what we're going to buy for the transportation? Is it the people or is it the bishop? See, y'all been thinking that he buying these Maybachs out of his pocket. That's what that law is there for. So whenever he buy these brand new cars, any of them, it's because the law says the organization must provide transportation. I'm trying to get you all to open your eyes and see how this works. It's manipulative. Huh?
Why couldn't it be a Toyota Corolla?
Why couldn't it be a scooter? She turned the camera off because she went by see her laughing. It could be anything, right? But why a Maybach? Why a Rolls Royce? Why a Bentley? A flying spur, silver spur? Why does it have to be $400,000, $500,000, $600,000? It could have been a Toyota Corolla. We got members waiting at the bus stop while bishops pass by them in the cold. People walking up the sidewalk with an umbrella in the rain. People slipping and sliding on parking lots and sidewalks, getting out of cars in the snow and ice. They don't have nothing to worry about. You just ask a question about the codes being met where the houses are run down. What about the mansions, the parsonages? Guess what? What's going to happen if a light bulb blows out inside the parsonage? Do you think any chairman is going to have him walk in the door and there's a light bulb that's out? Do y'all know how many houses of prayers got light bulbs blown out? My point is, y'all, the money that's being spent just on the bishop alone, year after year, out of the house of prayer money, not out of his pocket. Y'all don't have a clue how much money being spent by Mrs. Madison. So listen, all of this is coming to a head, and it'll be no more. And the individuals that's been helping because they've been in collusion, aiding and abetting criminal activity, they're going to have to sit there and answer questions too. My point is that the members can get ready to stop being asked to take money out of your pocket. Right now, they're having pastors' anniversaries all around the organization. I just talked about 6 and M Street pastor. Why is it that he got $30,000? He's hardly there. Yet, there's pastors that are there all the time who got $600. Something is seriously wrong with this organization. How is it that you got pastors that got brand new houses? Yeah, because they want to always be on top and everything. Right. But is it fair to the other pastors? There's one house of prayer in the District of Columbia, 120 miles away, Salisbury, Maryland. Handful of people. And there's a man who's there holding down that house of prayer and has been there holding down that house of prayer, dedicated, loyal, faithful, doing all the work, many times by himself, taking care of the grounds, taking care of the maintenance, taking care of the inside, taking care of sometimes the bills out of his pocket. And he is not the pastor. He's the assistant pastor. And for more than 20 years, that man's been breaking his back, carrying Salisbury House of Prayer almost by himself. Almost going on 30, maybe 30 years now. Maybe 30 years. Somewhere between 20 and 30 years. But he's been carrying that house almost by himself. And he's the assistant pastor. And guess what he's gotten for it? Zero. The assistant pastor there at 6 and M Street, Apostle Smith, for many, 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 many years, he was the one who's there all the time. While the pastor, all over the place. This one, the one before him, Mr. Cunningham, the one before him, Mr. Whitner. Apostle Smith was there, the one before him, Mr. Madison. Been there carrying the weight, doing the work, faithful, dedicated. The man is phenomenal. Members love him. They adore him. He gets along with everybody. He treats everybody with respect. Mind you, a lot of people, listen, we have some assistant pastors that have been holding down the fort and getting nothing out of it. Why is it that he got 30,000? He's gone. Even Mr. Cunningham, when he was there. What is the point that I'm making? I'm talking about how unfair the United House of Prayer for All People has been to the men and women who's been faithful, dedicated, and doing a whole lot of things out of their belief that they're doing the right thing and have gotten nothing for it. All this changes. When you do the right thing, everybody is appreciated. Now, we're not talking about a dollar bill. My point is how they have taken advantage of the members for a dollar bill, and they've cared nothing for those who's doing all the work. That man, he's all over the place. What has he done as a pastor? Like I said, for 28 years, you've had bathrooms in 6 and M Street with equipment that's been broken. For over 30 years, equipment broken that has not been fixed. Y'all know what I'm talking about. There's been a bathroom where it's always a sign out of order. There's been times when the lights were about to get cut off at 6 and M Street over and over and over again that the members of House of Prayer don't know about. But they're raising hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, if not millions. How is it that the lights are about to get cut off? Because the pastor is not doing his job. Now, what am I getting at? The houses will be inspected and taken care of. The members won't be coming out of their pocket no more. Every house of prayer should be maintained by the organization, not by the congregation. It's written in the purpose to establish, erect, and maintain houses of prayer where all people may gather for prayer and to worship the Almighty God in spirit and in truth, irrespective of denomination, race, or creed. Yes, off the top of my head. Are they maintaining the houses of prayers? No. But we can get new Maybachs. But the members got to pay to have a new oven. The members got to pay to have the parking lot cleared of ice during the wintertime. The members got to deal with taking more money out to get a light bill paid. All this money going into the organization. People paying $3,000 to walk down a red carpet. Y'all just pay attention to who the pastors and the bishops are, because priority is way out of line. So thank you for making that point about the properties being run down. Now, everything in here is going to be taken care of, and it's not going to need to come out of the people's pocket. Not if the board has anything to say about it. Thank you for your extreme patience with breaking all this down. Absolutely. We want everybody to know what's going on. There's no secrets with us. And everybody should know what's going on. So that when you're telling people, oh, we got this in the house of prayer, we got that in the house of prayer. No, you should be able to mean it. Not you have things that you can't use. We got all this, we got all that. But what is it doing for the people? What's it doing for the members? Not a thing. So making sure that I haven't missed anybody. Thank you for your extreme patience. Definitely need learning about Constitution. Yes, everybody will be learning about the Constitution. Again, this is just training that we're going to be, making sure that everyone is in on the transparency. Just like you go to the job and you have an employee's handbook and you get yourself familiarized with the rules of the job, it's the same thing in house of prayer. That way that people won't be taking advantage of you. But no more will people at the top be making a bunch of decisions, taking advantage of people at the bottom. Those days are over. They can't ask that question because they will be sat down. Right. They can't ask anything right now to anybody up there. The whole organization is biting their fingernails because of the leaders that was there.
Where you been?
Huh?
You behind. You behind hiding.
Oh, wait a minute. The whole organization been on pins and needles, afraid. Pastors intimidating them, chairmen's intimidating them, bishops intimidating them. And nobody can ask anything. Nobody can, nothing. All of that is over with, over with. Knowledge is power. Will the new UHOP have shout bands? Well, everything, again, as we go forward, is going to be up to the people. There's a vision, and we'll be explaining the purpose for everything. So right now, let's put it like this, the shout bands right now. Again, I'm gonna make a video about this, but how are the shout bands being used? What are the shout bands being used for?
To attract people.
Say again?
To attract people.
To attract people. Why did they want the shout bands to attract people?
So that people give their money.
Boom. UHOP juke joint. You got the musicians in the front. Ding, 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 ding. People sitting here and while they're dancing. Boom, ding, 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 and shout, shout, shout. And they got the money coming. Every program, singers getting up. And it dum 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 bum 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 and it bum 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 and it dun 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 and it dun 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 dun. Maids coming back and forth with dollars, right? Bam 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 dun 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 bam. Dun, 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 dun. It's entertainment. After the choir, more money. After that's over, we're asking all the adults to get in the line, get in the line. Here we go. All them people. And what did they do with the video?
Brother Lewis.
Yes, sir.
In order for a change to come about, there got to be a change in the people's minds, in their hearts. They got to want a change.
No.
You follow me?
No.
Spiritually?
No. All we got to do is set up a new order of service.
Yes.
Fix.
Yes, but that's what I'm talking about. For a change to come about, you can't come in thinking with that Eddie mentality.
But no, what I'm saying is the members' thinking is going to change anyway. Because once this is done in the court, that title Addy is going to be gone.
Yes.
Right. So
yes.
These are easy fixes.
Correct.
We're going to be fixing
I think so.
Right. We're going to be fixing too many people. I'm trying to allow you all to understand this is not about what the people want. Well, if loving you is wrong,
but I know what you mean.
Right? If loving you is wrong, I don't want to be right. No. Those days are over. This is not about Addy this and Addy that. No.
Correct.
Scripture. And this is what he's saying. And I know what he's getting at, but he's saying that the people's mind, this is where the online training is going to come in, right? So the online training is going to talk about indoctrination. The online training might talk about a little bit of psychology, but you need training in order to wake people up. That's why the scripture says what? My people are destroyed for what?
Lack of knowledge.
Lack of knowledge. And anybody in a cult, you're only in a cult because they've refrained from giving you knowledge. When we talk about the General Assembly, they have kept you from being oriented to your purpose. So every year when people go to the General Assembly, they're being used as a
knowledge.
Right. They're being used as a pawn because they know that you don't know your purpose there. Somebody said on the phone the other night that me and Sister Lewis, if we didn't catch this with Mr. Bailey and Mr. Cunningham and Miss Mickey Bailey and Mr. Cuthbert, the judge, and Mr. Jones, Mr. Jimmy Jones, they were changing the Constitution. And they had 42 changes to the Constitution.
Wow.
And the members didn't know nothing about it. And as long as it was read in the General Assembly, Mr. Cunningham is at fault for this because he was the General Assembly secretary. His job is to make sure that they go by the rules. Now, my problem is they taking men down year in and year out. Well, you got a violation. You got a violation. You got a violation. Y'all violating all the laws, but you're covering up for one another. Right. And all these big men year after year doing the worst, but nothing ever happened to their position. Nothing ever happened to their title. All them men still sitting there. And you got men at the bottom who didn't tie a shoelace and now they're ready to remove them. You could have tripped somebody, hurt somebody, slipped on this floor. No, violation. Pay $50 and we're going to move your letter. You start over. But these men got all kinds of stuff going on around the organization. And nothing happening. All of that stuff stops. The General Assembly, right. Grinnell, right. The bathroom near Paradise Kitchen. See, y'all know what I'm talking about. That one bathroom been broke for years in 6th and M Street. But they're raising millions of dollars and can't fix what, a $280 repair? A maintenance issue?
That's just going along what we were saying, that what they've been doing is just showboating, pretending to be something that they're not.
But no, it's not their fault. It's not their fault, though. Remember, it's the leader, the pastor. Right? If the pastor is telling these people, we got to beat that house, we got to beat this house, we want him to be please. You got 200 people, 250 people at Addie's Club. That's $400,000 with just 200. But you can't fix a $280. What is wrong for all those years?
Or pay the water bill, the power bill.
Same thing with electric bill. Now, this isn't just DC. This is all over the country.
Correct.
Right?
Yes. It's all over the place.
The mentality of the people is based on their leaders. Whatever they speak from the front, that's what the people believe. That's why in the beginning, and I said I'm going to do this again, soon as you come inside, let us all clap our hands for his holy anointed manservant. Sweet, 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 sweet.
Please.
10 times every service. That's how we got indoctrinated. I'm calling at, he's mine. That's how we got indoctrinated. All the songs, right? All the songs.
Not only that, looking at them portraits.
The pictures, bowing down as soon as we get there.
Look how they're lined up. Look how they're lined up. All that idolatry stuff, bro.
Soon as when they come in, let us raise our hand, repeat prayerfully after me, saying, Lord, all of this is indoctrination. The Sunday school books. Why is it?
Lions on the front door.
Yes. Why is it that every single Sunday school lesson almost has to be the bishop is in the Bible? Right? This ain't talking about Jeremiah. This is talking about him. This ain't talking about Moses. This is talking about him. This ain't talking about Paul. This talking about him. So listen, all that stuff is done. It's done.
Thank God.
We need to free our people.
Yeah.
We need to free them. It's time to leave Egypt and turn
Yes.
your back on the Pharaoh.
Yeah.
This is
Pharaoh
what
let the
is
people
coming.
go.
Right. So we're here. And so shout bands, yeah, we can have shout bands, but they need to be retaught, because the shout bands, I'm going to go ahead and say this, and it's going to be in a video. The elders, the shout bands, and the choirs have been used more than anybody else in the organization, besides the kitchen staff. The kitchen staff have been worked and toiled and broken, because all day, every day, they in that kitchen, they churning, working, toiling, churning, bringing in dollars. What do they get for it?
Nothing.
A lot of times the kitchen staff taking money out of their pocket, but can't get nothing back. And they're not getting a living. They're getting a donation many times that goes towards G-class. Some kitchen staff, some of the clubs that go into the kitchen, they had to pay to go into the kitchen. They got to pay $200 and then they get the kitchen for the opportunity to go into the kitchen. See, we're going to be talking about this. I'm going to show y'all how people have been used like a harlot. Anytime you got to pay, and then when you're working, you being used to work, and everything that you produce, they got their hand out. You're being used like a harlot. I've been used for years like a harlot. These elders going out there to the crowd to get the money in. The band's playing. Now look at this carefully. You have to pull money out of your pocket and try to be the top paying band in the organization so that you can play whenever there's traveling going on. You're not being used like a harlot. Choirs pay the most money. Top choir. You pay the most. We're going to award you by letting you sing throughout the year, next year on all the programs. You're being used like a harlot.
Free. Yes.
The kitchen staff working, bringing it in. You're being used like a harlot.
And a lot of them are elderly.
Yes. And all these years in the kitchen, you're not getting a benefit. And we had people who couldn't work no more, but now they realize the mistake they made. Put all those years in the House of Prayer kitchen, but you don't have Social Security now because you put in all that free time, not knowing you can't claim unemployment. You can't claim benefits because there's no record of you getting anything. I'm sorry, somebody was going to say something else?
Yeah, I was going to comment there, which is why I actually switched over to here. Because one thing is, you're talking about being indoctrinated. One thing for certain is that they got faith come by hearing down pat. They have used that to run repetition, and it is proof that the word works. So whatever you are hearing, whether it's right or wrong, if you hear it enough times, I promise you, you will believe it.
Yes.
Even if you know that it's wrong. If they put you in a dark room and they play that the sky is purple over and over and over and over again, it doesn't matter how much you know it, they can psychologically make you believe that it's purple. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
So I just want people to understand that faith really does come by hearing.
Yes, it does.
And so it's you know, if it's hearing by the word of God, then you'll have faith in the word. If you're hearing a misconstrued doctrine, you will have faith in that. Mm-hmm. Especially if it's from birth and you don't know no better. I was just thinking earlier, I'm like, think about, you know, someone else that's born into something else that is just known to be wrong, right?
Right.
They won't know that it's wrong until they either wake up, you know, or start studying outside of what they've been taught. But if they're only taught to hear from this one source and everything else is a lie, and that's what you've been taught from the womb. We're not talking about from 20 to 40 you started learning this. I'm talking about most of us coming out getting this from the womb. So even myself, coming up as a toddler, I knew who daddy was. Mm-hmm. And I'm saying daddy, and I'm not even saying daddy for my own dad.
Right.
You know, so yeah.
Right. Right. Our children are learning to call somebody else father as a toddler.
Even the wives.
Yeah.
I think that's not right.
Yeah. Your wife calling another man her daddy. Right. This is what she's saying. Now, I did it too. That's why I said all these videos you hear me saying, I did it too. I did it too. And I was the biggest cheerleader. I did it more than most people in the house of prayer. More than most. I was an inspiration to people in the in the house of prayer because I did it so much and so well. So you can't tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. I know more than Mr. Cunningham. Mr. Cunningham told the council that I know more than him and that whole council put together about the house of prayer.
Did the current leader leave for a while, for some years?
Oh, the former leader. But yes, during, I think his teenage and young early 20s, I think he left for a while.
Not the current former.
Yeah, Mr. Cunningham.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he left for a while in his younger years.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. But of course, you know, to his credit, when he came back, he got back in line and, you know, jumped right back in and did everything right, including, you know, hobnobbing with the council. When he first got to DC, he was working with the maintenance team. He was put into 8th Street was his first house that he pastored. And from 8th Street to Greensboro, from Greensboro to 6th and Elm Street. But you can't climb up the ladder dealing with corrupt people unless you yourself are corrupt. Mm-hmm. I hope you understand how I put that. Yeah. You cannot climb up the ladder when you're dealing with corrupt people unless you yourself are corrupt.
They won't receive you.
Right. Corrupt people not going to use honest people. So what they've been doing is taking honest people down while they elevate corrupt people.
So that would explain the reasons why they removed a lot of the pastors that were knowledgeable. And that's why they stopped the outside teaching. They didn't want nobody to go outside and get taught or come inside that has been taught.
Right.
They kept on because then the knowledge will be revealed.
Right. This is why we talked about Mr. Munn, who went to theological school, theological seminary, and they removed him as an elder in the house of prayer, took him down to a brother. The former leader did that. Why? Well, he's studying the Bible.
Yeah, too powerful.
Something wrong somewhere. So people, we have to wake up. And for those of you who have been too laden down with fear, who in the world is bigger than who we serve? Who's bigger than our Creator?
No one.
He ain't got nothing on. Listen, I can tell y'all some testimonies. Our ship on the water was just like this, and it was tilting. The ballasting tank blew up. Josh is here. Kill is here. And the ship was tilting further and further and further, taking on all kinds of water in the well deck. They came to get me. We going to the side of the ship. I'm looking at the water on the side of the ship, climbing higher and climbing higher on what we call water markers. Those numbers with lines on the side of the ship is called a water marker. And long story short, I said what I said. Boom! Another one blew up. The explosion was so powerful. I think it was, what was it, Kill? Josh, was it 3-inch thick steel plates or 4? It blew them. They bent. More water coming in. We were 2 minutes. We have another young man from the ship, Elder Smith in New Orleans. He was down in the well deck, see the water coming in. We were 2 minutes away from the captain calling abandoned ship for us to get off the ship. Kill came to me asking what I was going to do. I said, I'm going to get 2 pickle jars. I'm going to pour the pickles out, put the lid back, put them under my arm, and that's going to be my flotation device. So, of course, we're joking and laughing. Other people scared to death. Josh was looking for Kill. They come back, and after a few more minutes, all of a sudden, the ship stopped listing, and it slowly began to balance itself again. Now, I won't go too much further into that. My point is, we've seen our Father work. Too many times we're supposed to have been in the water with a bunch of, we've seen sea snakes about 20 and 30 feet long.
Wow.
Yeah. Jellyfish.
I would have learned how to swim quick then.
Oh, and shark infested waters. And listen, my point is, this is nothing. The things that Kill have seen and Josh, this is nothing. Gillum, he may be on here. The man right now, oh, I won't even get into it. The things we have seen. Dealing with this is nothing. Members, you don't have nothing to be afraid of. Greater is he that's in you than he that's in the world. And we know that the former leaders that's been in here were not of our Heavenly Father, because they wouldn't be doing the things that they're doing if they were of him. So that in mind.
But folk gonna stress themselves out thinking that their quote unquote man is going to speak against them. So people are so heavily indoctrinated. You know, I mean, it's people that are going to really need like real help navigating this thing.
It's coming. Yeah. Again, we're going to have therapists, all of that, therapists, psychologists, psychiatrists, all. And it's not because we're crazy. It's because all of us, me too, will be in a position where we're hearing new information to undo the damage that's been done to us mentally, psychologically, and spiritually. This is real. And
can I just make one last point?
Yes, sir.
I'm on mute. I just want to encourage everybody that's finding this stuff out. You know, you're just finding out. A lot of us found out a long time ago. So believe me, we understand what you are going through. Mm-hmm. We can relate better than probably anyone having gone through. We can relate better than any outsider because we understand what we were taught and how deeply we believed in what we had been taught. And so I just want to encourage everybody, because you're going to make it through this just like we did, you know, but just be open-minded. I'm praying that God continues to lift the scales. So this what the car bought my daughter.
Yeah. So thank you so much for that. Jamal.
And what we've all experienced is actually a psychological diagnosis called spiritual abuse. It's a medical diagnosis. Mm-hmm.
It's a term for that. Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And this is very real. And it's happening around the world. So it's no big deal. We were just targeted and we were taken advantage because of our trusting in the people who was in front of us. That's all it was. And it happens to people every day. It happens to the smartest of people. It happens to the brightest of people every day, just like a relationship. Many people being cheated on by women that they fell in love with head over heels. Many women being cheated on by men that they fell in love. You'd never even imagine this person could ever come to find out they didn't have one. They had 2 other families. They might have 8 children outside of your family that you don't know nothing about. This is happening all around the world. So we're not coming at anybody, even when it comes to the former leaders of the organization. We're just making sure that you all know that these things are going on so that you can back up. The authorities is going to do their job. All we want is for them to let go of the wheel. That's all.
Have a good night.
That's all. So once they let go of the wheel, we can jump in and do what's necessary to help the members of the organization. That's all. I'm going to say this and then we'll read the last few questions. The one thing everybody needs to understand, we have people whose mentality is, you all put your money together and put it in this account. You put your money in this account. This account. All your money is pooled here. You have individuals trying to take this account and hold on to it because they have control. You got the bankers saying, no, you can't make a withdrawal. You put this money in my bank. You cannot make a withdrawal. You can't use it to pay your bills. You can't use your account to help you with your medical issues. You cannot use your account to pay your mortgage or your insurance. You cannot use your account to take care of any of your needs, period and point blank. Go somewhere else and find the finance that you need. And when you get more, make deposits into your account that you cannot use for anything because I am seizing and keeping and using your account for me. That's what the former leaders have been doing with the members of the House of Prayer. They're allowing you to dump everything into this account, but not allowing you to take any withdrawals for your needs while they take out whenever they feel like it for whatever purpose they wish. And they're telling you to stay off YouTube so that you will not find out the truth and keep putting money into this account that they refuse to allow you to withdraw from. That's what's going on. All we're doing is saying, stop it. We want a change in management. That branch manager, that banker, they are out. Hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back no more. That's all we're saying. With that in mind, they're afraid of being sat down. Yes, because being sat down for them means they can no longer have access to that account. Now, I think Golden Boy might have been talking about, or Bimevdabin might be talking about the band's afraid of being sat down. But no, we're not sitting down with anybody. If anything, the former leaders have messed up. Listen, I'm going to tell y'all, there's a difference between a harlot and a prostitute. There's a difference. A harlot makes money for themselves. This is why you had 2 harlots that came before King Solomon. That was what they wanted to do. That's what they did. There was no laws against it. Even today, a woman going out, or even a man, they call them gigolo, making money for themselves. That's a harlot. A prostitute, they're making money for somebody else. That's why some places, prostitute is illegal because you're taking advantage of somebody else. Not that they excuse being a harlot, but they certainly don't allow other people to take advantage for work that you not doing, y'all band playing outside. They tell you, no, give us that money. Choir singing, bands playing inside, DVDs, CDs, nope. Give us that money.
You're down.
And then to pay extra out of your pocket to be on top so that you can play, you're being prostitute. I was used
top band so you can play during convocation.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was being.
You can sit where you want to.
Yeah. You get a rug with your name on it.
Mm-hmm.
You get towels with your name on it. People, I'm telling y'all, they've been using us.
Mm.
And how much did those towels cost? It might have cost you $200,000, $300,000. We can get those towels at Macy's for $8 a piece. Some of y'all right now got Beats with Mr. Cunningham's picture on the side of it. That headphone cost $150 with no picture. It might have cost you $30,000. They're using us. Well, not me anymore. And other people are saying no more for me neither.
Mm-hmm.
So again, I'm gonna make a video about this to show y'all intricately in detail how we're being used. Hopefully it'll wake us all up. Greed is the sickness. Yes, it is. Jola Violante, if you look through the videos, yeah, we did a series of videos on the Constitution. If you scroll down, Jola, I don't want tithes. I want purpose. Yeah. Once we finish doing what we're doing, again, all the members in the organization, we will have the help that we need, and members outside. We got people who need rehabilitation. We have addicts that we need to deal with because they have souls to be saved.
Mm-hmm.
Alcohol, drug addictions. What, we're not having anything to do with them?
That's who we're supposed to be here for.
We're not looking for nobody outside. We've been singing for years. Everybody ought to know who he is. But we ain't telling nobody. And all the biggest pastors driving the latest model vehicles. They living good in the biggest houses while the senior citizens are getting put out of theirs. It's time to wake up. Excellent way to learn the law. For the last 100 years, this title, Addy, has been used. What is it was going to do with it? Yeah, Addy is out. Addy is absolutely out. Zero. No. Oh, yes. Those are the results. Addy need to hit the road jack, and don't you? Right. No more. They wouldn't even provide transportation for the seniors or parents with kids by using the buses. Exactly. Wintertime, rain, whatever. See what else we have.
There's some on, I think there's some on Zoom as well.
Okay. Oh, wow. People still typing in. Wow. Okay, so wow. Okay. Wouldn't even provide transportation. And on Zoom, shout bands are used to manipulate the people. They're paying $5,000 now. Wow, $5,000 are now being paid to walk down the red carpet as of this year. And because They want to be on top of everything, right? Why doesn't the pastor share his money with him? The pastor of 6 and M Street, why don't he share with the assistant pastor, Apostle Smith, or the assistant pastor in Salisbury? The assistant pastor in Salisbury, again, he carrying everything. Even the pastor of Salisbury don't do what he's supposed to do. He might be in Salisbury maybe once a week, twice a week, but the assistant pastor is doing every single thing. Again, carrying the house. And it's a lot of assistant pastors like that. And this is basic Christian 101, right? Apostle Smith is a great man. They said a lot of people love him. I've known him for years. Give nobody a problem. Bathroom near Paradise Kitchen, right? 5,000 to walk. Shout bands are used to manipulate the people, right? The former bishop told someone to not preach Jesus, but to preach him because Jesus is gone. Yes, he did. That's demon talk. The House of Prayer promotes the sovereignty of a bishop, not Jesus, and any member who believes this doctrine is damned. The House of Prayer is antichrist, is not a form of Christianity. Yeah, the leaders, absolutely. And this is why I've said this. And I went and showed you in the scripture the same thing. But the scripture says there's many antichrists all around the world. We just happen to have a part of it. They teach that Jesus is dead, and that's why he sent the man. Right. They call the comforter, the man the comforter. Yes. And I'm going to be doing something about that too, to show everybody this is what they do to promote the leader. And the leaders have taken that and ran with it to, again, further indoctrinate. Truly twisted, truly demonic. And does anybody think they wouldn't even provide transportation? It's designed for the head at the top. Right. Everything in the House of Prayer is a pyramid scheme, the same as a pyramid scheme. Mm-hmm. Everybody at the bottom work hard and only a few at the top receive and reap the benefits. Does anyone think when we reach paradise that Moses, Paul, and John and others will or have addressed any of our bishops as their addy? Absolutely not. Again, the scripture teaches not to call anybody father on earth. And there has been plenty of members who have had dreams and visions of seeing the leaders of the House of Prayer burning in torments. People have had dreams and visions of seeing them in torment. Now, whether they come forward to share with you themselves, I've had a few videos, and I want to get back to these comments because there's a lot of commenting as well, but people have seen them in torment. And when you teach and preach things that go against the scripture, you cannot look forward to receiving the rewards that go to those individuals doing the opposite of what you're doing. The scripture, he said, he will not be mocked. And when you're telling people to do what he's telling people not to do, you're making mockery. If he's telling people to not call anybody man, father, and everybody in here hearing him say, no, there's always been a daddy, there's always going to be. Hey, awful. I want my name written in the book of, absolutely, absolutely. Why so much money collected through the whole duration of service from beginning to end? Because the whole program is all about money. Everything in the House of Prayer has always been about money, every single thing. The religious part has just been the show to keep you and I and other people joining. This is why the leaders tell the members, y'all go out and invite other people to come. Y'all go get others. The young people get young people. Sisters get sisters. Brothers get brothers. Everybody in here got a certain number of people to save and bring in the House of Prayer. Oof. False doctrine, false doctrine, false doctrine. And yes, it's all for the bishop and Mrs. Madison. The United House of Prayer is built on the backs of the poor. And that's sad, with no help in sight. Except now.
Helps in sight.
Right. Except now. All the bands smoking weed getting, well, Yeah, we have a lot of that going on, unfortunately. Not just the band members, a lot of the people. We got to clean up. And it's not just House of Prayer all over the place. A lot of times they're shouting to worldly music. Yeah, a lot of the bands are playing secular music. Some of them have played pop songs and laughing because people out there on the floor don't know what it is that they're playing. One time we heard
speaking facts here, Doc.
Yeah.
I know for a fact in North Charlotte, I heard he gave me money when I'm in need. I got need right in Charlotte, North Charlotte.
And we were in convocation, honey. Do you remember up in New York? Where were we at? Way up north.
And he just talked about Gold Digger. Maria's talking about chocolate.
Yes, Chocolate City.
Chocolate City. Right?
Convocation.
Give me some chocolate. And now, I won't say his name. I'm not going to do that because there's been a few of them, pastors, and they're coming up with this boots to the ground, boots to the floor. What is the name of that one, you all? The one,
boots on the ground.
Boots on the ground.
Oops, somebody just called them out
on
Zoom.
Yeah. See, I didn't say it. And they made programs out of it. And Mr. Cunningham was loving it. What are you promoting? What are we pushing? And as long as the money coming in, no problem. This is not the teaching of the scripture.
Yeah. You see it on Zoom.
Yeah. Yeah. Kurt, with all due respect, Brother Lewis, yes, sir. Another comment may be coming up. Yes. Shout bands used for money. The bands play to compete with one another. No real worship. Absolutely right. It's the party. His words, not mine. Yes, she's talking about what Mr. Cunningham said in Columbia, South Carolina. It's my party. He said this outside, in front of the house of prayer, outside. Do we have to wear that mask on our face? We the only. No, the mask is about control. The mask is just about control. It's to show the people how much control the leader of the house of prayer had. If he was who he say he is, why is it that they're showing the world their lack of faith?
Yep.
There's signs on the front. If you're sick, stay home and be blessed. Stay home and be blessed.
Don't come in here and be blessed with your sneezing and coughing.
And the scriptures tell us, if there be any sick among you, stay home and be
that part.
Yeah, because we ain't got no power. We can't hear you no way. Stay at home. Take your medicine. No power in here. We don't even believe really even in the power of the blood. We don't believe Jesus gonna hear you or come to your aid. As a matter of fact, we teach you that if Jesus don't come, you better call on Daddy.
And don't forget to get your jab.
Yeah, that's another thing. That requirement before you ride the buses, I wouldn't be riding another bus at all until that requirement is removed. Now, I'm not going to talk about it in the detail. I'm just telling you that he's been given certain stipulations to force the members to do. He's been given certain things to make the members do.
Yep.
Now, y'all can do it if you want.
There is an agenda behind that, 125% sure.
Mm-hmm. So just wake up, people. So no masks. In fact, no masks. All this, the stuff going on right now, just is a different day. So my mom, Grace picture on her car window at home. Yeah. By the time this is done, everybody, literally, they're going to be clearing house. Because again, people are going to be aware of not everything. We're not going to let you know everything, but you will be aware of enough so that you and every indoctrinated person in here will know for a certainty, without a shadow of a doubt, that these have been people who's committing crimes, criminal activity involved all over the place for years. So how will the cafeterias be used? Will the organization now have supplied computer centers in each major house for learning, help, and tutor? Yeah, this has been also something that we're going to be talking about, because the houses of prayers are supposed to be a type of community center, just like any other place that refers to itself as a place of worship. If you call yourself a quote unquote religious building, facility, institution, well, what you've done was open up your doors to the members of the community to come in to find any type of assistance that they might need. And even if it's an after school program, there was a time when parents would look for them at those places to put your children in. There was a time when people would put their children in Catholic institutions.
Oh, yeah.
Because there was no other institution with children programs. You didn't have to be Catholic, but you appreciated the fact that somebody is teaching them something about above, about heaven, that they're not over there got rocks on my handgun and Rolex watch and the great big rims and the
yeah, don't do that for a living.
All this. My point, the people needed positive influence for their children and not to allow their children just hanging out. And somewhere along the way, we've lost that interest for our children. Now you got children with their pants down around their knees. You have girls with their shorts up to their waist, almost. Boys' pants are down to their knees. Girls' hemline is almost up to their waist.
And some of the boys doing the opposite and the girls doing the opposite.
Yes. And with these short clothes, trying to pull it. What are you pulling down? We need to go back. So, yes, absolutely. Teaching is fundamental. And so we have to start with information. We got to start with feeding people. So even for all the assistance programs that we're looking at setting up, it's not, where everybody come on, get going. No. The idea is to help people help themselves. It's to teach people how to fish. There's plenty of fish. Let's eat. While we're eating, let's teach. And that's the whole idea. So that after 3, 4, 5 months, we're now getting ourselves up so that we can ride the bike without training wheels. Within 1 year, 2 years, the whole organization should be full of people that's now riding on their own and enjoying the ride. Because nobody's telling you, you got to come every night. Not for the purposes of getting help or being taught the word, but just so we can put our hands in your pocket again. I know a kitchen staff member working so tired and not getting paid. Right. All over the organization. Kitchen, we talking about kitchen. Don't get me started. Right. UHOP members wake up and stand on for what is right. Brother and Sister Lewis breaking the facts down for everyone to understand. Yeah. The point is that we are in this together and we all need to be helping one another. And we need to see it for what it is. The leaders have not been helping the people. They've been taking advantage of the people. Period. And
just stopping by to pick up the bag.
That's all. Some money drop. And they need to.
That's why they ain't even no preaching. You just literally stop for a 5-minute, just word or look encouragement, no real word, just to pick up the bag and run on out.
I know he's real because he healed me one day. No. We don't need to be encouraging one another to see him. We need to be encouraging one another. Take your eyes off. Look up. And if we do that, then we can get ourselves ahead. Looking at him is going to keep ourselves distracted and lost and broke. Please, y'all members, wake up. Yes. I remember a time when an auxiliary bought their own items to sell at a yard sale in the parking lot and had to turn all the money in for Yeah. You cannot sell in the house of prayer.
And keep the money.
Right. You must relinquish all that money. Even when you go into a cafeteria, you have to spend your money to buy supplies. People going to the cafeteria, there's no money for you to buy supplies with. And then when you leave, that all of it stays. And if you're there for a month, they don't want you to take money out of what you sold and made. They want you to take more and buy. Now, is that every one of them? No. Some of the pastors have taught the members, listen, you can't keep coming out of your pocket. But it's few and far between. My point is that we don't have a united system to deal with every single facet of the organization. This is what's going to change as well. Again, provided that we and the board agree with all of these things. Meeting ID. Our state mailed Bishop Bailey a bill at the time for repairs. It was mailed back. It was mailed back that same week, and raised the money through your congregation. Yes, and that also happened. Was Baltimore. The members, the lights were about to get cut off again, and he told the pastor to take care of it. And you raised the money. And when they didn't have it, he told them, you take care of it. So the pastor had to take care. I think it was to the tune of $18,000. But Baltimore is known for raising
a lot of horrific things like that with power bills that were super high because of the heating systems that were antiquated in there. Mm-hmm. Up north, the pastors were paying out of their pocket to cover those expenses. Is insane.
And it's a shame because, like she said, some of the smaller pastors, smaller houses, they're just stuck. And they don't have what these larger houses have, and they got to come out of their pocket. Mm-hmm. Right? Josh says guilty as charged, but never for Mr. Cunningham, though. Right? You can't put the blame on them. They're going to put the blame on the pastors and back on the members. But the pastors who's pushing the members to give a lot of money, those pastors are safe. They know that they will not be moved. We got some of the pastors doing the most. It's a shame to even talk about the stuff that they're doing. Mm-hmm. And not being removed, just being changed around.
Mm-hmm. And everyone knows. It's not even a secret.
Yeah, people know what's going on. And you got little twins of theirs all around the organization. He said, call them out because he shouldn't be doing. No. Some people, it depends on the situation when I call people out. But I'm intentionally trying to show people that I'm not aiming stuff at, because a lot of the past, it's not only them doing it. And so I don't want to promote a spotlight on one when there's 10 others doing the same thing. And I don't want to start chunking rocks. We'll be here all night. But Brother Lewis is the first man I've seen flip over a pew and not break his neck. Dedication personified. Oh.
When you were shouting.
Yeah, there's a
video out there.
There's a video where I was shouting and my feet was coming up and I got too close to a pew and my foot, boom, I'm up on the pew, boom, I'm over the pew, boom, on the next pew behind me. And I rocked back. I think I popped up and spun out of the pew and
kept on going.
Yeah.
Kept on going.
That video went viral all over the organization. I think that was the #1 sold video in the history of the House of Prayer. It's out there. I think, yeah, I'm gonna look for it. I'm gonna see if we get that video. But Mr. What do you believe? Mr. Cunningham should have taken advice from the Pope and admit the doctrine is wrong. The people would have believed him. Yes. What if he did do that? What if he did anything to just show the people we're here for you? He could have changed the trajectory of the entire organization, but no.
He actually was set up in the perfect position to be able to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And he could have came in with a whole new, fresh everything, but he intentionally decided not to.
Mm-hmm. And blew it.
If you know, you know.
Yeah. But he had been waiting for years to get in that seat. For years. I think it was like 14 years. Might have been a little bit longer. No, it was longer. I think it's 16. Because somebody came online and said in 15 years who the next bishop is going to be. They were in a meeting when it was told to the council that he's been picked to be next. Anyway, let's go forward. Call him out because he shouldn't be doing it. Just like everything else, he needs to be called out. Bailey was worse with that, having the members to pay for expenses they had no business paying for. But Bailey wanted to create a Daddy's Club program. Yeah. I think one of the most outlandish expenses that he had the members pay for was he went to Chicago, I think, and the members were stuck with paying for a restaurant bill. And I think it was a little over $1,000 for him and his entourage. And they got stuck with that bill. There was another lady, they didn't have the money to pay for the hotel for that night. I think the hotel was a little over $11,000 for him and the entourage at the Ritz-Carlton. And the pastor asked one of the members, who was a senior member, if they did not mind putting the balance on their card and the members would reimburse them. Well, they didn't get reimbursed. But the balance was a little over $5,000, I think. But this stuff should not have been going on in the first place. You have millionaires and just, again, taking advantage of the people left and right. All this has to stop. Can we see this video? I'll look for it. I remember when my sister and I were selling fish on ground, they came to collect money. I gave some of the money, not all. We paid for the food. They got the wrong member that night. They will try to fine you if you don't pay it all. Now, mind you, there's been times when people knew that money came up missing when the council come around collecting money. And it's no big secret. A lot of times they're dipping in the pot. They're dipping. And many members could prove it. But I know for a fact that council will cover up for one another. And I showed on a video that I know for a fact that they lie because I showed bank slips that I have in my possession. But they gave the report, no violations. And it's a violation for you to retain the bank slips. They're supposed to have it. but they covered it up by reporting that they have everything that they're supposed to have in possession. And it's supposed to be in a file so they can refer to it for tax purposes or for documenting purposes, for legal purposes. But it's covered up. So again, I can easily prove this stuff. Mr. What do you believe? He saw the video. Correct. One spirit knows another. It's true. I'm still amazed. Do you think he can still execute that move? Oh, gosh. I didn't see the water rising, but I remember walking sideways. Josh was talking about the ship that was tilting. Why not the bus or the trolley? I think the devil wanted us dead so bad. People were catching strays because Joe was on the ship, but lives were being saved and changed because Joe was on. Yeah, we had a lot of stuff. So one day we'll talk about that during a fellowship. All kinds of testimonies when we was in the military. Yes, he can admit that now and tell the people he shared what he was taught. Now he knows the truth and he's revealing the truth to the members. The members will say, thank you, Addie. Shake my head. Yeah. There's times when Mr. Cunningham is saying different things to still try to win the people over. And the people are saying, well, see, now he's this, he's that, he's changed, he's blah, blah, blah. Don't fall for the stunts. And this is what's going on, and that's why he's doing it. I definitely would support mental health. I work as a registered behavior technician. So make sure you stay in touch because we're going to be putting word out for individuals so that we can utilize your backgrounds, your professionalism, and your expertise as we go forward. I was led out by my soul becoming tormented to the point that I couldn't deny what I was seeing and hearing. Yeah, a lot of people, Blanche, also have similar testimonies. People have seen demons, devils. People have seen things in the leaders. People have seen things on the leaders. People have seen changes with the leaders, spiritually speaking. Some people have left the house of prayer searching for another Christ, but there is but one. Yes, absolutely. So what we're telling people is it's not in a building, it's not in a place, it's not in a belief, it's not in interpretation, it's not in philosophy, it's not in a religion. The disciples did not go out with these titles. Even John the Baptist was not a Baptist. John the Baptist was not a Baptist. He was simply a man who baptized. Wow. Right? Just a man who baptized. Right? Jehovah's Witnesses don't realize that they're not witnesses for Jehovah. All of this stuff, we will be learning truth where you will be able to back it up and people will question whether or not they should question you. And this is where the disciples stood, where people were afraid to question them because when they answered, how can you dispute it? You can't dispute truth. And this is why I've challenged every man in the organization and not one person stood up, including Mr. Cunningham. Even when I was there in person in Newport News, he didn't say a word. So members, are you going to support the one who's standing out boldly in the open or the one who's cowering and hiding behind the people? One of them has somebody to support them, whether you believe it or not. The other one has lies and deception. Some people have left the house of prayer. Yes. Sister Lehman, we need to talk. That's awesome. I would support it too. The soul Christ is in the United House of Prayer. This Christ that had led these people for many years and proven itself, this Christ no longer satisfied them. Truth and facts. Wow. This was a quote that Mr. What Do You Believe posted in regards to the statement that's made, which is crazy to hear. And again, this just touches on more false doctrine. The sole Christ is in the United House of Prayer. This Christ that had led these people for many years and proven itself, this Christ no longer satisfied them. Truth and Facts, 1968. There's a whole lot that we can say about that statement. I don't know, that's terrible. And that's right, Lewis, that's getting pent. Yeah, a lot of us all over the organization did not realize that we were being used as harlots. I was, again, for 40 years in the House of Prayer for 45, kind of on standby for about 5 or so. Then I came back in when I brought my wife. 2400 thread, Egyptian cotton. We need a t-shirt that says, Daddy hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back. Well, I mean, we have slogans in the House of Prayer all the time. In fact, I'm gonna show you in the videos. I have some things that we're being worked on to put word out, to advertise. But thank you for that, Jolie Atlante. My favorite is the cheap CD players. Brother Madison was giving out, and the 2-carat gold necklaces. Yeah, but it's gotten even worse. The 2-carat gold necklace was gold. It's just 2 carats. All right. Very, 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 very cheap. But today it's not any carats. Not even, it's all just fake. And that was horrible back then. It's even worse now. My family member has a drawer full of pins and buttons. Listen, we still finding stuff that we had tucked away. We had it all, and we go through things right now. My wife will pull, and badges everywhere, all kinds of stuff.
Just when you thought you got the last one.
Absolutely. And Mr. What do you believe? Cracking up. Praying that Mr. Cunningham repents while there's still time. Yes, 100. Yes, yes, yes. All of them. Because they still have souls. They still have souls. And this is why in the word, David saw that so much time was being given to his enemies. Well, that's because they have souls. And the scripture says that he desires not in the death of, or he delights not in the death of the wicked, but that they would turn from their wickedness and live. Stay home, be blessed, send in your tithes and G-class, yes. I think he knows that his people will get sick and they have limited health insurance. He's also protecting himself from being the reason for another super spreader event. Yeah, very, very good point. Mr. Cunningham and Ms. Madison both had corona. They both got hit by the pandemic. And they both came very, 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 very close. And there is a level of fear with both of them. Both of them. It's very real. But the members need to understand that what you're looking at when somebody's telling you the whole time, everybody wearing masks in that building, that he was sent to loose you. How many of y'all want to be loosed? Well, I don't want to be loosed. I want to loose this mask. Why don't you just tell us to loose this mask? If we have the person who can loose us. But again, these are the things that we should be looking at. You're hitting the right subject now. Please don't get me started about the kitchen. Whew. I like to record. I don't know what's rap. Yeah, I used to beatbox. I didn't rap. There's a song that they stole from my brother and my cousin. Almost went professional with Rooftop Records. Joshua Edwards, Blanche Lehman, same here. I was hurting when I was in, my spirit was troubled from what I saw and heard. But when I was out, the devil was trying to make me feel guilty for taking a stand. Yes, a lot of people are going to feel as if you've done something wrong by no longer participating, by no longer cooperating, by no longer attending. It's nothing but a spirit. Rebuke, 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 and turn to the word. I want my money back, including from all my family who gave. Listen, members, y'all going to be so delighted. I can't make guarantees, but from what I'm looking at, from the position I'm sitting at, y'all going to be so delighted. There's going to be such a change around the organization. And people, listen, you just have no idea. Cursed objects, right. The G-Class Awards. Get those badges out. Right. Same thing. The badges convocation. I have some UHOP memorabilia from Bishop Grace's era. I actually got a few items on Craigslist. And I still have a lot of my stuff because I'm using it as reference, so I can draw back to and use it as a teaching instrument. And I have it until after this is over with for a little while, because I want to use it all to teach on and then discard it once it's been videoed. First thing, take them pictures down off those walls in the house of prayer. That's coming. Pictures, chair up in the front, that whole platform. Again, all this stuff we'll be talking about, we'll be discussing as we go forward. None of this stuff is biblical. We've been lied to. We've been hoodwinked. We've been deceived. We've been manipulated. And it's all coming out. It's all coming out. So I want to thank you all for your time tonight. I want to thank you all for your participation, for your comments, for your questions, for your interest in what's going on. I'm glad and I'm grateful to know that your eyes are opening up. Your minds are now open as well to see the trickery that have plagued our people. And I'm grateful to hear that there's many people around the organization who's also turning to the videos and also waking up as well to see that they've been taking advantage of us. It's a hurtful feeling. We don't like it, but the truth is that they've been doing it all this time. The good news is that they're not going to continue to do it. And for those of us who've already backed up, there's plenty of testimonies where people are living a beautiful life because they're no longer pouring all their money in the house of prayer for the ones at the top to use and not do anything to assist you whenever you need help. So with that in mind, we're grateful for our 3 new board members. We will be coming back to you with the Constitution that's on standby to be discussed, reviewed, and talked about for the Board of Directors Emergency Governance Commitment Agreement. And for the board, you will have a packet coming out. I thought to have that today. It should be by tomorrow. And we're grateful because we see that this whole thing is coming to an end and we see a light at the end of the tunnel. So we're glad. And for those of you who are still on the sidelines and you're still not sure yet, just start watching the videos. Forget all the nonsense that you've been hearing. The truth is in the videos. I challenge anybody to watch the videos and prove to me, challenge me, correct me. If you think I'm lying, type an email so that I can give you my number. You give me yours. I'll call you personally to talk to you directly, to show you, to prove to you, and give you scripture or evidence to support every single thing that I'm saying. But start watching the videos, and I guarantee you, you will begin to back up from what it is that you've been doing in the house of prayer and following the leaders in there. This is why you haven't heard from them. This is why they have not spoken to anything that we have said. This is why they have not called us forward to deal with this in the open. Anytime somebody's coming to you saying, let's handle this in front of the people, you know who's telling the truth. the one who shies away. No, no, no. I don't have to meet you. Who are you? This is the way that he talks. We have recordings. You ain't nothing. You ain't nobody. Everybody knows he's talking about me. I'm not getting upset because gotcha. I'm using that too in front of the laws of the land because it is blatant obstruction of justice. So again, everybody, just bear with us, show a little bit more patience. Don't worry about those who are not supporting us yet. It's just a matter of time. And everybody who's on that side still, who's not a part of this corruption, it's just a matter of time. They're going to be standing over on our side of the yard. And they're going to say, man, listen, I wish I should have known. And we'll tell them the same thing. Look, you don't have to worry about it. We were blind too. So now we just praise our Father because now our eyes are open. So thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you all. If there's nothing else further, brother in St. Louis, I thank you. If we're only able to help remove a few people from the jaws of the House of Prayer indoctrination, it will be a blessing. Absolutely spot on, Mr. What Do You Believe? And we glorify God in advance, 100%. We are all in this together. Help us spread the word to everybody else who might not be with us today. There's still some work to be done, but at least we now have a board that the organization can fall in the hands of once the authorities do what they need to do. And the board is getting ready to propel itself forward. So everybody stand by while we do what we need to do. We're going to be doing it in front, not in the back, out in the open so that we're transparent. With all of that said, once again, thank you for your time. We hope you enjoy the rest of your evening, and I will see you all in the next video.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night. Appreciate you.
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
Honey,
Yes, ma'am.
there's 2 tacos right there.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, wrong one.
Hello. Hi.